Yo,
with y'all niggas.
I wasn't expecting that at
what's
all.
good, everybody? We are the Superior Minds podcast. We are back at it again with another episode. This is episode 9.
Yeah.
No working title yet.
How does this
Go
nigga
ahead and
suddenly
introduce-
get extra loud?
You feel loud.
Hey, how we sounding over there though, my nigga? We good?
I would literally have to check from another phone. Like I
Fuck
can't.
it,
I don't have my computer next to me to check, so somebody else has to.
How I sound to everyone else? I'm alright right now.
You sound cool through the mic right now, so it should be about the same for everybody.
You sound, bro.
Oh,
Shut up.
Yeah, so I'm Hero. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce the niggas right now real quick. We got Miles here.
What's up?
We got Rambo, Laura Aizen here.
yeah.
We got Shaun here.
Yeah.
We got the nigga Keith, the almighty one.
The coldest nigga of all time.
And then we got Goat Bino. What's good, bro?
Oh wow, you get
what's
that nigga
up?
extra shit on his name. That's crazy.
Yes, I so
think they
did.
goat.
Don't hate.
I don't understand how he goat. He the most
We all know
credible
that nigga
son
didn't
here.
deserve to go in front.
Hey, bro, I need the confidence booster. That's what that is. It's confidence
So
booster.
what you telling me is you
I'm just
insecure
being
little ass nigga.
attentive to niggas' needs, bro. We all got different needs. That's all
We
I'm
all
doing.
got different needs. I'm
This
done.
nigga Hero over here trying to tend to feelings and shit. Get your ass somewhere.
Man.
I'm
This nigga Hero
sleep.
trying to be considerate of others. Get that nigga out of here.
Yeah, fuck all that
Consideration of
bullshit. What you
others.
doing?
We don't do that.
Nigga, we're superior. The fuck you tending to others for, nigga?
Talk to him.
Jeez.
This nigga Hero ain't gotta come back for that.
Oh shit. It's been an interesting week, guys. A lot of drama, somewhat. And we got some lists that we're gonna get into as well. Do y'all want to start off with anything in particular, anything off the cuff, or y'all want to get into this?
First thing we gonna get into is that girl who got clowned for doing cosplay just because she wanted to try it.
Right.
And she
So-
was
Y'all not gonna be out here clowning my black queens on God.
Mm-hmm.
Get shot
That's
foot
a
out here in this
conversation
bitch.
we definitely need to talk about is black people cosplaying fictional characters who are not black. I feel like in order to cosplay, you don't have to imitate every little detail of a character, like to skin tone, to hair texture, etc., etc. Like cosplaying is supposed to be your own interpretation of whatever character you're trying to cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
My
go ahead.
As long as you're not mixing Luffy and Natsu.
it got so bad to the point in the comments they brought back up the Ariel conversation, and then someone was like, "Well, if a black woman's allowed to play Ariel, then a white woman should be able to play who was it, Harriet Tubman?" And I was
Right.
like,
Completely
"Nigga, that's
retarded.
not the same thing. Like, one is
It's not at
fictional,
all.
and anybody who has the ability to fit that or play that role should be able to do it if they are chosen to. Now, if it's
At
someone
the end of the day,
go ahead.
these characters are fictional.
Right.
Like, however we choose to interpret them, like in our own way, maybe in future films or like even just people cosplaying. Like at the end of the day, these characters are fictional, so it's up to whoever's portraying them to portray them however they interpret them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are you to get on someone for making Ariel black, or to get on someone for cosplaying as like a black Nezuko? Like, what the fuck?
Couldn't be me.
That's
Sound like
kinda
you
wild.
worried about another nigga life.
A little
That's
bit too much
horrible.
about another person's life. That shit wow.
Exactly.
Cause I guess girl went private. I didn't see any of this go down.
Right, me neither, really.
In a way, I wanted to see it so I could say something and defend her, but I just hate seeing negativity like that, bro. That shit is disgusting. It's weird.
Yeah, I typically don't pay attention to that kind of stuff on the timeline. I didn't like you said. I wasn't really paying attention when it was going on. I was just kind of hearing through the grapevine people talking about it in group chats and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like to make someone go on private, and it's just kind of crazy because she was apparently when she was making the post, she was even saying like, you know, it's my first time. I believe it was her first time, and she was actually nervous about what the public response might have been. And then it's like niggas responded exactly in the way that she feared they would respond.
Yeah, that's
like,
wild.
Like they responded exactly how she feared exactly how she didn't want them to respond. They responded that way. And so she just went on private. So
Shit, I ain't actually even get to see what she looked like. But was she cute?
So
that's not even an important question.
But we
Nigga, it's important to me. Shit, I support your
That's an
cosplay, baby
unimportant
girl.
question.
I know she's able to do whatever the fuck she want to do.
Facts.
Right.
Regardless,
fuck the haters, man. That's all I gotta say on it.
Basically, all I'm gonna say is like at the end of the day, anytime you're posting yourself on social media, obviously, and your account's not on private or whatever the case, and it's public, like you are going to leave yourself open to the possibility of public scrutiny. I'm not saying that it's okay for people to do that, but I'm just saying that the possibility is always going to be there, and you kind of have to be prepared for that. Like,
but are we gonna put public scrutiny and like pretty much racism in the same category? I don't believe they should be in the same category.
I mean, people can scrutinize you coming from a place of racism, right?
I guess.
Obviously,
usually when I think of like a public scrutiny, it's like some shit you knew was going, like, it's more like some shit that's not even bad. Some shit that's like, I wouldn't say not bad, but some shit that like you knew you would get like a certain reaction from a certain group. Like,
well,
like,
the
like
racism
a
came
certain,
in when they actually told her that she was black, so she can't do this. It's like, where is that entitlement coming from? Because they're not Japanese, but the characters are. But they feel like because they're white, they still have the ability to do it because their skin tones match to a certain extent.
right?
Which doesn't
doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, the Japanese people love my people, so you can't do that.
That was really something to see. Something to hear about.
Some wild shit out here, dog.
Hold up. Danchou here? Bro, say something, nigga.
What's up?
I didn't introduce, bro, because I thought he was gone, bro. This is that nigga Danchou, bro. D. Lucifer. Say what's up.
What's up?
You ain't got nothing to input on the situation. I know you was going crazy on the timeline when that was happening.
I mean, I really ain't got nothing to say for real on the situation. My only mentality is if I catch any of you bitch ass motherfuckers saying that shit in my face, I'm beating your ass.
Oh God!
You
gotta say like Bino. Oh God!
Gonna leave it at that. I really ain't got no more to say on it. I mean, I think the situation is pretty common sense. I think that white people are pretty fucking bold for you to think that telling somebody black that if they cosplay as somebody not black, it's supposed to be considered an original character. Well, you finna get an original ass whooping if you say that shit around me, motherfucker. Shut that shit up. That bullshit up. I ain't trying to hear none of that. And then it's crazy because y'all said y'all didn't see her, but I saw the cosplay. She looked phenomenal. And that's probably exactly why they was hating so hard. Like she pulled off the Nezuko cosplay perfectly. Like it was literally perfect. I saw it like it was so good. I think she did go viral in terms of likes, but she got a lot of hate at the same time. So she just put herself on private because she just didn't want to have to still have all of these people in her mentions over.
What you're saying is, my nigga.
Nothing. Even if you in her mentions defending her, you just don't want your mentions blown up over this bullshit, bro. Like you don't want, like it's not even that deep of a scenario. Me personally, Personally, if she was someone I knew and was a sister of mine, I would have told her, "Don't you ever be weak like that and put yourself on private. You better stay public and let these motherfuckers see your cosplay and let these motherfuckers be mad. Kiss ass. Who cares? You get what I'm saying? Like that's what they want you to do. They want you to go on private and they want you to be silent and they want you to feel weak. That's what they want you to do. Fuck them. How about that? The fuck?
No rat
Yeah,
cow.
we can't be letting these people out here put us in a corner.
Yeah, like you can't and that's my one gripe with her. I don't like the fact that she went on private. I think that was a very weak thing to do, but I understand it. But I think that's very weak. You can't turn, tell, and run. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
100% agree.
You can't let these people. We done came too far, bro. What if Harriet Tubman let them scare her, bro? And she was facing death. These is random people online. These are random people online who just talking shit. Ignore them.
Talking
And I
just to
know
talk.
that's easier. And I know that's easier said than done. But you realize once you close the app, you don't know them no more, right? Like that's just my mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you can't let people control you, no matter what. I bet you everybody she showed that cosplay in person says she snapped. Why you worried about strangers? Clearly idiots too. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
It just ain't me. I'm just not the person. Like I would never let my sister go private. I'd be like, bitch, you crazy. Put that shit back public. The fuck?
You better get on there and clap back at him.
You get what I'm saying? You better get like Nezuko and make your blood burst and do some shit. The hell?
That's basically what needs to be taken away from it. It's like in these situations, bro, black cosplayers or black people in general, bro, you can't back down, dude. You got to double down if anything. Like they're gonna make you try to get out of character and be timid and go private or whatever. They're gonna try to harass you or whatever the case, but you got to just double down on it. Double down and own it. Like,
that's unacceptable. Like you did the cosplay, you put it up there. Be proud of it. You got 80K likes, like 20 something K retweets. Don't focus on the negative. You know what I'm saying?
Because the motherfuckers talking shit wasn't liking the shit. Not logically speaking.
Stop focusing on the negative. You know what I mean? Focus on the positive.
You can't listen to other people's opinions because people gonna hate no matter what because that's what people do. That's what we are as human beings. We either love or we hate, and a lot of niggas who don't be feeling themselves choose to hate.
You could find the cure to cancer tomorrow. Niggas be like, well, you ain't find it soon enough.
Oh God.
Exactly. People don't appreciate what is in front of them. They always want to argue about
why
something
you ain't cure AIDS though.
Something just
nigga?
ain't right.
You know what I'm saying? Why you ain't curing world hunger though?
Always gonna be something, bro. People, you will never please everyone in this life. So
humans
bro,
suck.
it's
man.
almost
might
as
as well
worse
do what
as
makes you happy.
it's almost as worse as the folks.
One thing I always tell my little sister as a black woman is one, to be confident in yourself at all times. That's one. Two, fuck these people. 3, nobody can be you except you. Period. 4, nobody knows you better than you. And 5, you place your own self-worth. Nobody else does that. Nobody else tells you what you worth. You know what I'm saying? Nobody else tells you what's the good and what's the bad about you, except really you. I understand people can have their gripes and have their choices, but one motherfucker can tell me, Danchou, you too blunt. You need to work on that. Some people not gonna like that. And the other people be like, yo, you so blunt, you keep it real. It's just your life. You know what I'm saying? You have to find your niche, your lane, and live that motherfucker. And anybody who racist, we can run hands whenever you feel like it.
Pull up to AX next year. See how we rocking, nigga.
I want to see niggas pull up, bro. I want to see the type of niggas who pull up.
I don't want to see niggas get. I don't want to see niggas get hurt, man.
I don't want to see no
I don't want to see
niggas
nobody
trying to go do it.
When you pull up, I'm forced to put these things on you.
Dog.
I just can't believe that niggas really could get so mad to the point of somebody dressing up to go and try and fight them. Like, what? Imagine that, getting mad because you don't like how somebody's dressed up.
Right.
Imagine getting mad over e-girls.
It's like niggas
like,
Man, imagine getting mad over the internet with strangers. I could never.
Bro, I'm gonna go fight this nigga for you, bro. On God. Let's see how this shit turn out.
Imagine getting mad because a nigga quoted
Hey,
your
bro,
tweet.
this nigga
A
bullying
nigga
you,
quoted
bro.
your tweet and you
I'ma
got
fight that nigga
ratio
for you,
because
bro.
you said something stupid. Couldn't be me.
He called you creditless. On God, I'll be his ass.
Damn, but we've been playing this Pokemon. I've been playing Pokemon for damn near a week straight, bro. That's like the only game I've been touching.
I've been playing this bitch since it came out. I ain't even.
Nigga, all I
Nigga,
play
go
is
get a
SAO.
job.
My
That's the
job.
only game I've been touching.
Get a job. My job is breeding these perfect Pokemon. I just finished one.
Tell him, Bino.
I just finished one, bro. This is a grind.
This dude.
Hey,
This
y'all ain't
dude,
selling them hoes?
listen. He said my job is to breed perfect Pokemon. And an hour ago, this nigga was crying about not knowing how to motherfucking
Bro, until you try to breed perfect Pokemon, you don't know the struggle. When I tell you I've been trying to do this for 4 days and finally got 3 perfect Pokemon, bro. No.
So wait, how your job is to breed perfect Pokemon when you barely bred any?
Hey,
Nigga, you ain't making no bread right now.
I just started. Hey, it comes.
Hey,
it's
but Bino,
slow.
tell him, how did it feel when you bred that Pokemon? You were scrolling through the stats and you found all 6 perfect scores. How did you feel?
But when I tell you, I was gonna go berserk in my motherfucking room, and then realized I was at home and not in my college dorm room. I had to calm down a little bit.
That
Y'all niggas doing too much.
Y'all niggas some nerds, no cap.
That feeling
Bro,
is so
no.
incredible, bro.
Y'all just don't know.
Man
Don,
gonna
wait
walk
till you.
downstairs
Don,
talking to
wait
his
till.
parents like, don't speak to me like that. You ain't bred no perfect bitch.
Bro, no, but until you feel that feeling, you just don't.
Now put some food on my plate.
You just cannot understand, bro.
It's like a drug because once you get one, it's like, dang, I can go get more now. Hey, bro, you just gonna keep breathing.
Know what it was like to play Pokemon.
I just find it interesting, everything leading up to Pokemon being released. And I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the naysayers. Basically, from the beginning of the year, I was like, this game it was looking kind of mid. I was still gonna cop regardless. I kept saying I'm gonna cop it regardless, but it was kind of looking mid to me. I just wasn't quite sure about the game, and especially those like up like those 2 weeks leading to the release. He was getting a lot of spoilers, and a lot of people were complaining about the game and how it looks and everything.
Yeah,
like,
now that we talking about this, I just want to speak up for the Sabo Nation. I appreciate his final Evo. I know niggas don't
that
stand
nigga's
him, bro.
still ugly.
I'm standing that, bro.
And Teleon don't look too bad. My thing is just like his arms are too skinny and his hands is too big. That nigga look wacky, bro. Look like a Looney Tune.
He still got the worst
I get
Evo.
that, but I like it just because of it's like for what it's supposed to be a chameleon spy. Right. Me personally, I can't think of how else they could have taken that design. You know what I mean? Right. Without looking too much like, Grovile.
I definitely appreciate it for what it is.
That's why I'm like, I think people take away from what it was supposed to be, and they're just like, oh, it's ugly. Right. Like I can't.
Bro, I tell you, bro, when I found out that Selby had the best team in that bit, I was like, yes, finally, they made use of this useless legendary.
I'm weak, but look, this is the highest grossing launch of any Pokemon game, apparently.
And I watched
wow. When you take into account all the scrutiny that was happening before,
Yeah, I
more
watched
than 2 million copies sold in the first 2 days.
Yeah, I watched the podcast or whatever on people just talking about the game, and somebody brought up a good point. They said that basically, if you take away the dynamics of the characters, that the story is basically like flopping. And I was like, I had to think, like I had to sit there and like think about it. I was like, dang, that's so true. Because for the most part, I was like, oh, dude, the characters are amazing, and that was all I was pretty much saying throughout the whole game.
I don't even.
But that's kind of all you really need, though. Like, and I feel like the story sets itself up for a sequel quite easily. But I feel like the characters are what really made the story for me. But I did not mind that at all.
Another thing is, also another guy, he pointed out that the whole Eternatus thing was kind of lacking because it's like we never really found out, like, besides like the hero save, the general. Oh, the hero saved the dark, saved the city or saved the region from the darkest day, but we don't really know anything.
But see,
else.
I'm actually doing the post game right now with like the two descendants supposedly of the heroes.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see how that ends. But I'm saying like that's why I feel like it set us up for a sequel because like even Chairman Rose, like he got arrested or whatever, but we don't know what happened to him after that. Or like Marnie and Bede becoming gym leaders. I feel like if we get a Sword and Shield 2 and it's like time skip maybe a couple years, like you're gonna fight them as gym leaders. Like
again,
that's gonna be lit.
I just don't know how they would take that story just because that whole Eternatus thing, like we know, everybody knows that we have it. So it's like, and that was kind of the only issue. So it was like, what are they gonna do for the big? Is it gonna be Chairman Rose breaks out of jail, or
I mean, who knows, bro? Who knows? But
would they have to make they would have to make another legendary at that point?
Yeah,
right.
Another thing I will say, he brought up in the podcast that remember during the hype of like everybody waiting for Gen 8 and they bring out this new Pokemon called Meltan and Melmetal. He had nothing to do with this game. Like everybody was theorizing, oh my god, he's gonna be like, he's probably linked somewhere for the new games, whatever. He's not even in the Pokédex. Like
no, he was in the old games though. I'm pretty sure.
He was for
Sun
and Moon. Yeah.
Right. In the anime, he was actually part of Ash's team. So that's kind of more what that was for.
Oh, see, because I just know, and I think what didn't come out like when I just remember the initial release of the actual Pokemon was on Pokemon Go, and everybody was like, "Oh, this might be for some sort of connection to the next gen or whatever."
I think that was more for the wormhole stuff in Sun and Moon though, because he, like you said, he's not even used in this game at all.
Right,
it's crazy.
How do you even get? How would you even get it in this game?
That's what I'm saying.
Not in the game. Pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, he's not.
Go ahead. The people who play Pokemon in here, y'all have to rate the game from on a scale of 1 to 10. What would y'all rate it?
7.
I haven't beat it yet.
I ain't gonna lie.
Based on your experience so far, Danchou,
but I'll give it a 12.
Nigga, you ain't got a Switch, bro.
Exactly.
I know I don't. I'm hurting. Hey, for any fans out there that you want to slide me a Switch or maybe a couple dollars,
Yeah, if we got any rich watchers out there,
a couple of us need a couple of Switches. I'm just saying.
Patreon coming soon, bro. Support the podcast. Support the crew. No, I'm just playing. But Danchou, especially you though,
support us.
Someone like you, like coming basically having not played Pokemon, I guess, since like Gen 4, I believe you said, and like, coming back into it. Like, how was your experience with the game? Like, how much? Like, I'm sure it was like a lot different than what you remember Pokemon was, etc. Like,
it was a lot different. That shit sort of ass, to be honest. No way.
I'm weak.
Nah, it's different, but it's not. It's different, but it's not something entirely I'm unused to. Right. But it's also, how can I say this? Because I'm not a huge Pokemon fan, I think the fact that Pokemon doesn't have voice acting yet is sort of trash.
Oh yeah.
And but I say voice acting, I mean, and I'm a JRPG. Voice acting in certain places.
See exactly what like Fire Emblem 3 Houses was fully voice acted. Like I know exactly what you're talking about.
So like I feel like if Pokemon was, I feel like, and maybe hardcores don't care, but someone like me, I don't want to have to read this childish ass dialogue. I'd rather y'all just talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, not saying that the dialogue is like unnecessary, but I'm saying like I don't feel like I'm so used to just like
reading.
Clicking A. Like I'm so used to clicking A in a Pokemon game. I'm not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm used to just okay next, okay next, okay next. It's not gonna be hard to figure out what to do next. It's Pokemon. It's pretty straightforward. So it's like give me these voices, especially with the new game where the OST changes and the good music when you go in you wild area when you running. It's just a lot of good things they're doing sound wise. So to be running into characters and them not being able to talk is just sort of a big turn off for me because I
Right.
think I'm sort of over the no voice acting. But I think also because it just feels like there should be voice acting with these 3D models. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I said, I'm a huge JRPG and I love Dragon Quest. But even when Dragon Quest 11 came to America, they put voice acting in it for Americans because they know how we are. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
And especially because like the setting of the Galar region is kind of heavily based on like Britain or whatever the case. Like and like even like in the game, a lot of the slang that they use is from like that region. I always like imagine the characters like speaking with an accent, like it's not voice acted. So I'm just kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like a weird space for me. Like when I think of like
Yeah, and it's
when
not even
I can
that.
imagine scenes playing out.
I feel like this game has better dialogue in terms of that one rival, the BB Baby, whatever
Right,
his
lead
name
his
is.
name is.
Yeah, I feel like the dialogue of certain characters is good enough to where like it'd be more impactful and it would mean something to me if you didn't what's the word I'm looking for? If you guys didn't if they actually did voice acting, I think I'd be more in tune with it.
Right,
If there was more voice acting. I feel like I'd be a lot more in tune with the characters and what's going on because I feel like the dialogue is so good at a certain point to where if you have voice acting, you'd be so drawn in. But that's just me as a casual. I haven't beat the game yet, so I
right.
can't speak on all of the bosses. I do play Sword, so I don't, certain exclusives, so that lets people know which one I'm on. But yeah, I don't know.
So taking all that into consideration, how would you rate the game based on your experiences so far?
I'd give the game an 8.5.
Right, I think I would agree. 8.5, 9 range. The game is really good to me. Voice acting is pretty much the only thing where I kind of feel like they kind of slipped up, or I feel like they could have done better on that aspect. But the game is like so enjoyable to me, and I love the character so much, bro. Like Leon is my favorite champion by far.
I feel like with this one, why I'm not using the voice acting. The reason why I'm giving it an 8.5 is because I haven't beat it. I'm
Right,
not even going to use the voice acting as a con because I feel like that's just them sticking to the OG. You know, the what Pokemon has always been. Pokemon has always been no voice acting.
right,
So I feel like that's not. I don't feel like they made a mistake with that because I feel like they was just doing what they've always done. But I also think because they pushed the mold in so many ways, they should have added voice acting. If
right.
that makes
Agreed.
yeah.
I agree.
I feel it.
What would y'all rank? I know I just spoke about Leon. To anyone in here who's played the other any past Pokemon games,
I ain't gonna
how would y'all
cap.
rank the champions?
I ain't gonna cap. Leon's got to be up there.
Right, Leon
I
definitely
sort
top
of
three.
can't speak on that, so
Man, that nigga champion Aizen, that shit fire, dog. Facts.
That nigga
Ours
sucks.
and
Bro.
shut up.
That nigga got the
I didn't
weakest
have my
team.
fair share of challenges with all the champions, but nah, Leon gave my ass a run for my money. I ain't even
I
gonna lie.
think
I'm not even talking
I
about in
think
terms of its challenge. I'm talking about in terms of just like the actual character itself.
Just actual,
Or maybe overall. So like the
I think
challenge
the
and the
3D
I
character.
put
model,
Cynthia up there for me.
the
Cynthia's up there
3D
too,
model
for sure.
added to Leon's whole character. So I can't hold that again. You can't put that as a pro for him and then hold it against everybody else type of deal.
You know, hold on before we get into that one. What I really enjoy about this game and what I really enjoy about the 3D models is how dynamic the trainers are, especially the gym leaders or like Chairman Rose when they battle. They're so dynamic and like you can really like just feel like it just gives so much more intensity to the battles. And I like that when you beat them, their animations are like they're like actually like visibly upset. Like it makes like the game like I actually feel bad when I beat Hop in a battle because like I know how much it means to him in the game. Like, and you see the frustration on his face when he loses. Same thing goes for Leon too. Like, I don't know, the game just did such a great job with like setting an atmosphere for the characters and making you feel like invested in that sense. At least for me, it did. But
yes,
back to the champions though, I'm putting Leon at 1 and Cynthia at 2. And honestly, number 3, it could be Steven, but it could be
Steve.
who was the champion? Who's the champion for Gen 2?
Lance.
It could be Lance too. It could be Lance or it could be Steven.
You're putting, I think Lance compares to Steven. I don't.
Yeah,
What?
I have to agree with that.
I don't
Lance's
think Lance
team. Lance's team. If you have basically an ice type and an electric type, you pretty much win that fight.
Team aside, I just don't think Lance. No, because Lance, to me, Lance isn't comparable to Steven. Because Steven, well, you meet Steven in what's that?
You meet him pretty early on.
Not Duford Cave, but that Duford Islands area. You meet him there.
You meet him in Duford Cave.
It's called Duford Cave,
or whatever the cave is called. Yeah, you meet him.
But he's reoccurring in the story. Lance is just pop up at the end,
right?
And then you meet
him in the doesn't league. Necessarily mean he's better. I'm just talking about the overall. Like Cynthia too. I mean, she's reoccurring, but you don't really know that much about her. But people still love her as a champion because of like her atmosphere and like her team is so strong and everything about it. Like,
I think Steven's team represented what he was more. That's why I have Steven at. I putting Steven at 1 for a champion.
Right.
Because he's the son of Director Stone of the Pokénav people.
Right.
Then he likes fossils and all that extra stuff and has a team of nothing but fossils. Nah. And then he wasn't
nothing but fossils.
It wasn't nothing but fossils, but he has Lily, Armaldo,
right,
Aggron, Metagross. Like, no. Steven's team matched his
him
character.
At number 1.
Yes, I'm putting Steven at number 1.
I don't know why. Steven's kind of forgettable to me. That's why I kind of feel like he's just kind of interchangeable with Lance. But
and I played Gen 3 so many times that Steven is cemented in my head.
Right, that's understandable. So
yeah,
who go ahead.
I'd have to say my number 1 chamber would probably be Cynthia. Then it'd be Leon. I liked Leon because he's one of those champions that they hyped up. You know, they gotta hype up the champion all game, right. And it wasn't just you get to the end, you beat him. It was like a lot. There's a general consensus that he was difficult, like for a casual. Especially, I can't wait for Danchou to get there because he's casual, and I want to see his reaction to fighting him.
Danchou and casual don't even match. That nigga OG.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Casual, the fuck? If they take items out of the champion battle, I lose that battle.
That's why I cannot wait to go back and nuzlocke these games because that would be so. It's gonna be fun. This is gonna be the first time that I'm gonna have like a genuine. I'm not gonna say a genuine fun time, but a genuine like excitement for not playing a randomized traditional Pokemon game and nuzlocking it. Like I'm actually gonna be able to play this game and nuzlocke it for what it is and see if I can beat it.
Right.
That's going to be so good.
My only thing is the gym leaders don't match Leon's difficulty. Like they don't build up to Leon.
I can
because the battles leading up to Leon, for me at least, were pushovers. And they went by easy.
Them gym leaders kind of pushovers. Them gym leaders is weak as fuck. I'm sorry.
I can agree with some of them. I can agree with that fact for some.
Raihan is a dragon trainer and might be the worst dragon gym leader in Pokemon.
What'd you say?
I can say that. I can.
Out of all of the significant dragon trainers in Pokemon, Raihan might be the worst.
Oh, that nigga is ass, bro. And I see a lot of lobbing fan art on the timeline because I guess that nigga look good or whatever. But that nigga is doo-doo, bro. That nigga is cheeks,
bro.
bro.
Like his team, like his whole, he brings together the whole competitive VGC double battle thing. He brings that into the actual game. So I was like, okay, that's not bad. But his whole team,
his team didn't even make sense. It's supposed to be like this. He's this dragon trainer who also like deals a lot with using the weather and whatnot. It's like, bro, his team was so like all over the place. I just like stomped him. Like it just kind of wasn't. But I fuck with his character. Like I'm saying, his character has like a lot of charm to it. But as a trainer, that nigga's ass, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
I can understand why he never beat Leon, bro. Like
yeah.
Like, if we took 3D models of all the other gym leaders, I'm telling you, some of these gym leaders aren't even on. I think this generation of leaders might be the bottom half of the list.
Oh, for sure. I think like Gen 5 had really good gym leaders in terms of like how strong. Like, and also you got to understand too in this game, bro. Like leveling up, Pokemon
was easy,
like, super easy. So a lot of the times you're fighting gym leaders, your Pokemon are a little bit over leveled for the gym anyway.
And that's what made
mine was
Leon so
much well over a little. Like I would be at least 5 levels over so far. I've been
right. So like that kind of contributes to like it being so easy because I remember like in I was replaying Gen 5. I was playing Black and White 2, and I was thinking like every gym, I would think like, okay, I'm ready to go into this gym. I've trained my team. I'm ready to go in. I would still go in, and they was still like at least like 3 or 4 levels higher than me. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck? I just trained my ass off. Like, it just made the challenge that much greater because like you were kind of always feeling under level when you were going into gyms.
That's weird.
I think they need to take that handicap out though.
That's weird.
The automatic experience share for everybody or experience share for the entire team.
Nah, I think they could keep that in, bro.
That's weird that y'all say that though, because I guess for me, I didn't really do any max rated battles until like late/mid game. I would say late mid game. So like I felt like I was like right on their level like the whole time. I didn't.
Nah, but
I'm not gonna lie,
that's the way you played, but like they kind of encourage you to go into the wild area multiple times throughout the story. So like you're kind of encouraged to catch those high level Pokemon. Like I remember beating the first and second gyms, and Hop was like, "Yeah, bro, I'm going back to the wild area to go catch some stronger Pokemon because I got gym badges now." Like they literally like basically like encouraging you to do that.
One thing I will say though, I love the fact that throughout this whole game, it's like everybody wants to be champion. Like I like how they took. I love that dynamic, and it's not just, hey, I'm your rival, want to battle so I can get a little stronger. It's like you get to see everybody go, I'm going to beat you because I'm trying to be champion. Like,
and when you actually beat them, like it feels like wow, like you could feel like the sense of loss in their animations and like in their art. Like it's just really good.
They finally did the league how it is in the anime. Like you actually get to fight your rivals before you become champion. And
I like that a lot. There was no.
I really fuck with that.
Not really. Yeah. Where it's like you fought your rivals and then you basically have to fight all the other gym leaders, which makes sense. It's like it makes sense that all the other gym leaders are also competing to become champions. So you have to fight them again.
Yeah.
Like after you fight your rivals. Like, that makes sense to me.
I love that. And I also love the fact that the dynamic of everybody's team like changing. Like I like how Ryan was like, "Hey, I good at double. I usually do double battles, but I reworked my team to do single battles." Or whenever Hop literally goes through his whole, I'm not gonna spoil for Danchou, but his whole character scene and just different teams change. I like that.
Right.
Like they don't just stick with the same team and are just like, "Oh, I'm stuck. I'm gonna go train." People are like, "Oh, I reworked my whole team." Like it just shows that
so I can beat you type shit. It's like,
yeah.
bro, I like that you reworked your team, but you still not gonna beat me. Like,
I'm about to get in that ass.
What I will say is I did enjoy, and I think we should be moving on to a next topic soon, so other people can chime in. But I did enjoy Opal. They're ugly. They're not ugly, but the other
fast lady,
but Opal and what's the other rival? Not Hop, but the annoying
Bead.
Yeah, Beeb. I did like how Opal saw Beeb after Beeb was shunned by the chairman or whatever.
Right.
It was all like, "Oh, pink," and like took them under her wing. I
Yeah,
thought that was a really cool moment.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool little moment for for Pokemon. I've never really seen anything like that in the other Pokemon games off the top of my head, so I enjoyed that. You know, it felt like I had a story going on, like it was actually something going on.
Does anybody else have anything left to say about Pokemon? Or I feel like
Pokemon garbage.
about playing the game and you have a Switch, go ahead and buy it. It's really good and really enjoyable. Anybody else?
Hey, look. Switch out here paying you to be
add.
promoting them like this, dog. I need a cut.
I'm dead.
If I could add,
Hey,
I think
Nintendo, if y'all
Ash
want to
Ketchum.
sponsor us, please.
Go ahead.
Hey, look, I'm
Hold
trying to
up.
get the I own a Switch title in the Discord. On God.
I will say the game, again, it's like no less than an 8. I will say if you're a casual fan and you don't like shiny hunting or battle, well, that's pretty much. If you don't really like shiny hunting, besides that, yeah, it's just literally just battling at the end if you don't like shiny hunting.
Y'all rated this game. Y'all rated this game higher than I did.
I'm gonna give it an
and
8.
it's only because
to a 9.
I only rated that high just because for what it did, it's like there's so much potential for the next gen games. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we have potential for another hub wild area or more areas in the game, you know, free roam. And I also want to bring up the point that there were a lot of people complaining about the wild area being quote unquote small, like for the initial like entrance. But I liked it because I don't know if you guys have played any Zelda, but it literally gave me Ocarina of Time vibes, where like that big area is like kind of like the game itself is kind of small, but the way that they did it made it seem like bigger than what it was. You know what I mean? So like it was that initial area that connected all these different areas that you had to go to, but you had to go through the story to kind of unlock everything.
So what you're saying is the game's small, but they make you walk hella slow. Gotcha.
No.
What I'm saying is, moving on.
The game.
But they definitely don't make you walk slow because they give you that bike dumb early, and that bike be moving. I ain't gonna cap.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I don't like the bike. I like running shoes better than I like bikes. I ain't gonna lie.
Me too, because the bike just be doing too much, bro.
Yeah.
Bike be crashing and shit.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Full Metal Alchemist creator Harumu Arakawa's next manga has been teased and shown in Sunday.
Oh, that's
what?
So it seems like we are getting a new series from one of the best ever.
What was the tease? Like, did it kind of give a hint?
It literally just said expect the new manga coming from, and then put her name.
Honestly, that's kind of enough for me right now, bro. That's just so exciting. Goodness.
Let's go.
So we got a lot coming on the way. We got a lot on the way. Let's hope that goes well, y'all. Let's hope that goes well.
Wait, so like, did you just read that on the timeline or something right now?
I just read a shonen article thing on it. Yes, I did.
I saw it like 3 hours ago. Pretty sure they
fire.
confirmed it's gonna be some. I'm expecting some gas.
Can we even speculate as to what it's going to be about?
Nope. No clue.
Clearly too early.
We're gonna have to just wait and see.
Right.
We're gonna have to just wait and see.
We get into the end of the year, so a lot of these news outlets that cover like gaming, manga, anime, etc., they're coming out with a lot of lists, end of decade lists or even all-time lists. So we got one today that we was looking at before we started recording the podcast by IGN. They did top 25 best anime series of all time. And honestly, I remember when I was young, I used to like look at IGN like this reputable source of news. And now that I'm kind of older, I'm like, yeah, these niggas is kind of bullshitting a lot of the time.
Is Dragon Ball number 1?
Why the fuck? What I'm trying to get is why is this site called In-Game Name? But like, why are they doing anime reviews?
They put Dragon Ball Z at number 23, Keys.
Ooh, what?
Damn.
Out of how many animes? You said top 25?
25.
'Cause didn't IGN
That's
just do
ugly.
another one
Yikes.
That's
recently?
creditless. That's
Like they did one
extremely
before this
creditless.
recently, and it was pretty sure like 1 or 2.
That's
All right, I guess.
extremely creditless.
So we taking 70 credit off IGN. But
Wow.
let's
Oh,
add that real
God.
quick.
IGN has
Niggas-
lost a lot of
And they have
credibility. off that
MHA
one.
at 17, which is kind of like, bro, what? I mean, they have Devilman Crybaby above both of them, which is kind of
I'm
crazy.
sorry, Devilman Crybaby? And
Yes.
wait, hold on. This is
Here we.
and this is supposed to be
Hey,
a list of what?
hey, I
all
told y'all
time?
this. I told y'all
Yes,
this was
all
gonna get
time.
y'all hot.
They
Y'all
have
ain't
Devil.
believe
Wait, so
me.
they have Devilman Crybaby over
At
the
number
original
16.
Devilman? Over the original Devilman?
At 16.
Over Dragon Ball? I'm finished.
Right.
I'm finished.
Hey,
Naruto at
70.
15. Code Geass at 12.
Hey, please tell me One
Shampoo at
Piece.
11. I want to
Did
see
One Piece
what is
make
number
top
1
10,
and
bro?
2.
I want to know where One Piece is at.
Yeah.
God,
One Piece better.
Hunter
don't say
Hunter's
nothing.
at number Hunter Hunter's at number 7.
7.
They put Mob Psycho above Hunter Hunter.
They put Mob Psycho over Hunter. I'm blowing IGN up.
That's crazy.
I'm
Out.
blowing it up.
Crazy.
One
That's
Piece,
Psycho,
One Piece at
nigga.
4.
If Hunter
What?
Hunter not number 1 is
One Piece is
unacceptable.
at 4.
One Piece at 4. Monster at 3.
One
Bebop
Piece.
at
How is
2.
One Piece at
Full Metal
4?
Alchemist at 1.
Full Metal
Yeah.
Alchemist.
They did that for the
Oh
cloud.
Here
my
these
God.
niggas go
They just said
again
with
with
this
this
That's
Full
for the
Metal
clout.
shit.
They
Yeah,
did
hold
that
on.
for the
And
clout.
all praise the Full Metal because it's gas, but really,
Hey,
nigga.
look.
Number 1
Hey, I'm
though.
gonna say
Listen,
Full
bro.
Metal deserves
We
to
not
be in
Number
the
1
top.
though.
I think that, but
we not putting an arc. We not putting an anime that's literally one arc over other ones that have multiple arcs that are consistent. I'm not going.
We not
sorry.
putting
okay,
an
but Full
anime
Metal's
that people
arc-
don't actually
look, that's like
rewatch on
saying
the
you
list.
don't like a small, short, contained story, like that's concise.
That is a
and-
one arc. That is a one arc show, bro.
But what's wrong with
Literally.
that? What's wrong with
Hey,
that?
I got a
There's
question
nothing
about
wrong
Full
with that.
Metal.
But what I'm saying is, how can you put something that's one arc over other things that have consistent multiple arcs? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, more
I mean,
opportunities for
obviously,
sales, bro.
Hunter x Hunter comes to mind when I think of that.
Think of what?
Of like a show that has multiple arcs that are consistently good or like
Hunter
consistently
x Hunter,
well written.
One Piece.
Talk about it. Talk
One
to 'em.
Piece though, bro, I'm gonna
What?
say
One Piece don't have
DBZ
consistent
sagas are
arcs?
fucking
Oh,
I'm not
gas.
saying One Piece doesn't have
please,
consistent
hero,
arcs.
please don't
I'm
say
gonna
They
say
put
though,
DBZ to
lately
23,
One Piece
nigga.
is
Okay,
like
okay.
overrated, bro.
Let's
Bro,
just say this
no,
though.
I need
One
you to
Piece
go
has
all the way
had
down the
all right
list.
arcs. I don't think One Piece has ever just had a bad arc.
Exactly.
Ever. One Piece has no
Exactly.
bad arc.
Whole
That's what I'm
Cake, bro.
saying.
Whole
One Piece
Cake,
doesn't
bro,
have one
really?
bad arc.
Whole Cake
Did you say
Island,
whole cake?
Whole Cake
Whole
is
Cake is
not
not a bad arc. You tripping?
bro.
The
Whole Cake does
pacing, you
not
could
do
say
it
the
for me.
pacing. You could say something about pacing like Dressrosa and Whole Cake. You could say
Whole
something
But
about
that's the
Cake does not
thing.
pacing.
do it
Hold on,
for me.
But
hold
you're
on.
not gonna
Here's
say they
the thing,
bad
though.
arcs.
A
Bro.
lot of
You
people
can't
say
tell me Whole
pacing.
Cake's a bad arc, bro. I'm not
A
going.
lot
to.
of people
No.
say the pacing is bad before the arc even finishes. People are
Exactly.
saying the pacing for Wano is bad, and Wano hasn't even finished yet.
Whole
Like
Cake
you
does not
can't
do it for
you
me,
can't
bro.
judge the entire pacing of an arc until you finish the arc. If we're gonna be
Exactly.
honest,
I
that's
think
why a
people
lot of
just
times.
throw that pacing shit on when they're not
When they ain't got
interested
nothing
in
to
something.
say. When they
Yeah.
ain't got
Right, I
nothing to
agree
say.
with that. I agree with that.
But it wasn't
My
like
issue with Whole Cake is not even pacing though. I just feel like it was unnecessary. I feel like Sanji's new backstory or the addition to his backstory was very unnecessary to his character. It didn't really add anything to his character that we didn't already know in terms of like the kind of person that he was.
I sort of disagree because
Yeah.
how did we randomly get this kid on a boat with Zeph? Like,
Yeah.
how did how did this
How
kid
did we
randomly get on a boat with
Zoro
Zeph?
showing up to a dojo and meeting this girl who becomes his rival?
Okay, but we don't
And
know. We don't know
yeah, we don't
Zoro's
know yet.
backstory's done yet. We don't know.
But they
We
should
don't
not.
know
But
if
do you
he's
think they
done
should
yet.
add on to it for real? Do you think they should add on to it?
But okay, but this is the thing, though, bro. You're asking me what I
Use my
personally feel in comparison to
Yeah.
what we're
Use my
objectively.
Okay, but if you're talking about from a writing standpoint,
Let me finish.
go
You're
ahead.
talking about how I subjectively
he's gonna leave
feel
it
in
now?
comparison to what we're talking about objectively. Objectively, adding all of that stuff for Sanji, you could ask me personally. I didn't personally think Whole Cake is a great arc, but we're not talking about personally. We're talking about objectivity. And objectively, Whole Cake did a lot for the Straw Hats in general, and also did a lot for Sanji.
But
It
what
gave
did
us
okay?
more
What
of
did it
his
do for Sanji?
backstory.
What
Let
did
me
it do for
finish.
him?
I wasn't done talking. It
Go
gave
ahead.
us more. It gave us more of his backstory, which was crucial because how in the world does a little kid cross over to that side of the sea where he met Zeph? That's not an easy feat. So how the hell did he do it? One, two. It gave us backstory into how in the world he can even do the crap he does with his legs. There go another more that explains more of how he can even do what he does. 3, it gives us even more on why in the world Sanji for all this time was wanted alive and never dead. More
Yes.
information. I mean, I feel like you're
but
just
all
like
that was set
ignoring
up for this
and
additional
and then
backstory.
and
I feel like
yes. What do you
okay, but
mean,
look,
hero? What do you
look,
mean?
look.
How else do
Okay,
you
let
answer
me
these
finish then.
questions?
Since I'll let you finish, right? So let me finish, bro.
Hey,
I'm gonna go
Go.
down. I'm
You
gonna go
took too
down.
long. Shut up. You took too long.
Nigga,
Now
shut the
go to
fuck
my
up.
next point.
I'm, I
So we
want to get
continue.
to it.
So then next.
I'm going down through all your points, right? You said you brought up Sanji crossing the sea. We don't need to necessarily know how Sanji ended
Nigga.
up on that
He's
cook
a
ship
straw
when
hat,
he met
though. We
Zeph.
gotta know.
That could have. Why do we have to know?
Because he's literally one of the main characters, technically, because he's
Okay,
a
It's
but
not
straw
why
hat.
even
couldn't
wait.
his
It's not
story?
even about why we have to know. Do you realize that him moving from what was it? I'm sorry. Was that what sea did he go from?
Okay,
From
but when we
going,
first met Sanji,
do
we
you know
didn't
how
even know
hard
he
that
was
is?
from.
Wait.
We didn't even know he was from there. So like,
Do you, bro?
we didn't even know when we first introduced him. We didn't even know that aspect of him. So like,
So how
you're
did?
acting
So
as if
you mean
like
to tell me? So you mean to tell me it's okay for us to sit there and go, yeah, he arrived on a random ship as a kid out of nowhere?
And
Like
they
what?
literally hint when they
nigga, you
asked him,
act like
like,
niggas don't travel across the blues. Like
A
Sanji saying
child?
when
A child,
I think
bro?
the first time we originally found out that Sanji was from the North Blue, I believe, was in the Jaya arc when he was talking about
yeah,
the story of Nolan. But like that is just to
Okay.
me when that was first brought up, that could have just been like a cool little okay, Sanji actually originates from this part of the ocean.
and
But when
again,
we first
that's
met
like,
him, that's not really
Right.
integral to his character.
But
The most
Miles, what I'm
important part
talking
of his
about, hero,
character,
you
the
realize
most
that you
important
can't
no, let me
just
finish,
cross,
bro.
right?
The most
I
important
keep
part of his
forgetting.
character when we first introduced him is that he's a boy who likes to cook. He's heard of this sea called the All Blue, and he
Okay.
wants to find it. He meets
Okay.
a fucking
So
pirate who shares his dream,
okay.
and through the
Okay.
share. See, look, you're trying to be condescending when I'm trying to explain my point.
I'm just
I
saying
would,
okay.
Don't be
I
disrespectful.
All
would
I'm
like
saying
to
is
speak
okay.
on
Look,
Nobody's
I would
being
like to speak
condescending.
on
Don't
this
get
topic
sensitive,
when
bro. All
y'all.
I'm saying
I'm
is
not being
okay.
sensitive, bro, but I'm saying
No,
let me
all I'm
talk,
saying,
and you ain't
hero,
gotta
this
say
is what
nothing
you
else,
did with
bro.
Keys. This is what you did with Keys. You assumed how somebody else felt because you and your feelings. Stop. All I said was okay,
Nigga,
bro.
shut up, bro.
All I
Now
said
you're
was
being super
okay.
extra, bro.
All
Shut
I
up,
no
bro.
stop,
All
hero,
Listen
right,
to
because
what
you're
I'm
not gonna
fellas,
tell
saying.
me. You're
fellas,
not
Look,
gonna tell me what I'm
let's
doing. You're not gonna
chill.
tell me what I'm doing.
Let's
All I'm
nigga,
I
chill.
would
telling
like
you,
to
I know,
speak on
bro.
this
Hey, look,
topic,
relax,
I'm not gonna tell
Reel
you.
relax,
it back,
Look,
both
relax,
of
Limbo,
y'all.
you gonna shut up? Though?
relax, relax.
But can I talk though?
No. Now, as I was saying,
But can I
how do
talk?
you sit there and say
Nah,
that
nigga, we don't have this.
it's
Nah,
irrelevant?
change
It's
the topic, bro.
irrelevant for us to know. Do you realize that from going from the North Blue to over to East Blue, you can't just go over, right? You know that's not just like a hop in a boat and go over, right? You know you
Bro,
can't just
finding out
that's
that
a you
Sanji
can't just
hopped,
get over there.
finding out that Sanji came from the North Blue to East Blue is not integral to his character. Let me finish what I was saying, bro. The most integral part of his character and the part that meant the most when we was getting his first backstory with Zeph was the fact that they bonded over a dream that they shared and they
Okay.
struggled together, and that brought them close
So
over
how
the
he
love
find the
of
dream,
food
hero?
and the love of their dream. We
How he
already
find it?
knew.
How he find it?
We
Hero?
already, dude. Let me finish what I'm saying. We already knew that Sanji was a kind person because he was feeding niggas that was trying to kill him in the
Oh my God.
first couple episodes when we met him. We already knew the kind of chef that he was. We knew the kind of person that he was. We already knew how kind he was. Like it seemed to me like Whole Cake Island was trying to drive this point of Sanji being this super kind person who would never harm anybody, or he was just super nice and wanted to cook. I'm like, we already knew this. Like, why are you trying to hammer this fact back
I have a
down on us, bro?
question. So
Like, what
how
did
do
that
you
add to his character?
so how did he find out about the All Blue? He just a kid who just magically knows about the All Blue?
How does that find out about the All Blue?
Okay, he's not a main character. Don't do that.
See, look,
He's not a main character,
this
hero.
conversation's over.
Hero,
This
he's not a main
conversation is
character.
over.
Hero, no,
This
you
conversation
no,
is
he's
Shout
not
over,
a main
bro.
character.
I
Hero, he's
would
not
This
a
like
main
to
conversation is
speak.
character.
over, bro. You trying to
I would
ask
like to speak on
why
this
certain
subject.
characters in the story
Dog,
know about mythical
dog,
places
he's
or
not a
things?
dog. Why do we need to know about
Bro,
Zeph
this is
finding
so
out how?
dumb, bro.
Listen to what you just said,
Yeah,
bro. You just tried to
nah.
put a side character and a main character on the same level, nigga. Are you serious? Are you serious?
What is that? What are you talking?
Listen to
That's
what
like
you just
saying,
said.
bro. That's like saying, how did Luffy find out about the One Piece?
Nigga, the whole world knows about it. That was a dumb comparison, nigga.
No, it's not. Two chefs talking about the all blue. Even the rest of the chefs on the ship, when Sanji mentioned it, they're like, "Oh, that's just a myth. That's just a myth. You actually believe in that?"
What does
Like,
that
what are
have
you
to do
talking
with
about?
What does that have to do with him?
Because you're
actually
asking, "Oh,
knowing
how did
where
he
it
find out
came
about the all
from?
blue?" Nigga, does it matter? The fuck?
Yes, because it's a context to who his character is. Are you stupid?
Oh, brother,
Okay,
no,
next,
you sound
next,
stupid
okay,
right
next,
now,
my
bro.
next point,
Look,
because that
I'm
point,
so
that point's
done.
too dense for your brain. You a little too slow.
Nah,
Next point.
I'm
My next
done.
point.
I'm done.
You a little too
Oh,
slow.
my
Next point.
lord.
I'm
You a
done. You
little too
trying to
slow.
nah.
Can
You
I,
can
You
be
look
as
too
can,
slow.
can I,
derogatory
Next
as
can
you
I
point.
want to
speak on
be,
this?
Dancho, but it doesn't change
Next
the
point,
fact that
bro.
your
Good
point is
You,
lord.
you,
ass,
you,
bro.
next point, bro.
Being
Next point. Next
derogatory
point.
doesn't change the fact that your
Next
point is
point, bro.
ass.
Hold up,
Next
we
next
got another
point.
speaker
Next
who
point,
wants to
bro.
speak.
Next point, bro. Next point.
Yeah.
Because
All
you
right, next
on
point.
bullshit. Next point. What's
Point,
our
bro.
next point?
Next
Hold up,
point.
hold up, hold up. Both of
Let
y'all.
Miles talk.
Yeah, can I speak on this subject? I understand both sides. I completely do. And as for Hero, I completely get what you're saying because the Whole Cake Island did emphasize, hey, this is who Sanji's character was, and I completely agree in the aspect of Sanji because obviously I don't obviously being a Zoro stan, I obviously didn't like the fact that he basically left for his disowned family, and after everything he's been through with Luffy and the crew, he decided to go handle this by himself. And I get why he did it, but I don't like it because because of how disrespectful it was to the captain. So I had this conversation with Bino. Like everything for you guys remember when Usopp left the crew, Zoro laid the law down and was like, hey, it's not easy just to leave. You know what I mean? Like we shouldn't
Right.
just take this as a pushover. So when Sanji did it, I understood his reasoning, but I still felt that it was still unacceptable and disrespectful. So seeing how originally, when somebody left the crew and how Luffy handled it, and seeing how he did it basically by himself this time instead of with the assistance and guidance of Zoro, I appreciate that because when he finally, when Sanji finally came back and gave him the food and all that, and Sanji explained, hey, you know, you need to leave, da 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 da, and seeing Luffy like hit him and tell him, basically, you're not doing this alone, was really good development. Not for it was really good development for Luffy, or just explain that. So
For
Sanji
Sanji too. For
yeah,
Sanji too. I
yeah.
entirely hated the whole moment with that. But
Yeah.
at the same time, Sanji got developed at that moment.
Yeah,
Sanji
and
had to understand that he cannot do everything on his own. And even
Yes.
being so nice and wanting to take care of your crew and take it upon yourself to try to handle things, you can't do everything alone. That was the whole point of you joining the Straw Hats.
But didn't Robin do the same thing?
But you have to
Weren't they
also.
preaching that to Robin? You think
But you have to.
Hold on.
I'm not done talking.
I wasn't finished.
I'm not done talking.
They was preaching the
as
same
I
thing
was
to
saying,
Robin too, but
as I
apparently
was
they
saying,
didn't learn what they was
okay,
preaching.
but this is what I'm saying though. As I said, I hated that whole moment too. But the man, what other choice did he have? Literally, think about what situation he was in. If you was in, do you really think you could just look at them and go, "Yeah, blow up the collars. I'm still gonna be with the Straw Hats"? Like that's not going. That doesn't even make sense.
I mean, Robin was in the same predicament, so and they was still preaching to her like we're like depend on us, lean on us. Yes. We are here.
But nobody. Okay, but wait, what you're saying that like I'm disagreeing. What are you talking about, nigga?
But I'm just saying they was in the same situation, so I'm understanding like it's not really development because they was.
Whoa,
like,
so you saying Robin didn't develop in her moment? Did she not develop in her moment when she's relied
But
on
I'm
them?
saying, how was Sanji getting developed when you're saying, oh, Sanji
because
had
I just explained it.
You
Was you not listening to what I just said?
I'm not going to talk to you if you're not letting me finish my points.
No, nigga, you not even listening to me because I just said what you just asked me to explain. You really acting stupid right now, nigga. What the fuck?
It's fine. Hero
Sanji go, it don't matter.
That's Sanji bad.
Hero
Sanji bad, bro.
And
I don't even like Sanji. That's how I know you being dumb. This is like,
and I'm a Zoro fan, but
Whole Cake added a lot to Sanji's character, but you did not tell me that.
I like Sanji, but I still wanted. I wanted Zoro to find out about the situation because obviously, as of right now in the story, he doesn't know like the full details of what went down, and I hate the fact that he doesn't know, but at the same time, I can appreciate it because it's like the captain handled the situation, and I like that.
It's not that deep. Like Zoro don't need to know.
Yeah,
like,
Sanji ain't gonna do nothing but stump his ass out, so it don't matter.
Wouldn't really do anything, bro. We're talking about
that,
Sanji.
but
I don't think Whole Cake added much to Sanji's character at all.
Again, I was gonna get to other points. Like the Whole Cake wasn't just for Sanji. That's another thing. Like you gotta also realize. I believe this was Luffy's
and he
first.
still got stuff added to his character.
Yeah, and this was Luffy's first time encountering, a Yonko at their own territory, I believe. So like this was also a big step for Straw Hats in that regard. Not to mention the whole Katakuri situation. Like we got to learn that there are other people that have respect. There are other pirates that respect not being the traditional bad. Stereotypical. I want to kill other pirates.
I don't think necessarily Katakuri respected that Luffy was a tradition or not a traditional pirate. I think he disrespected the fact that Luffy didn't judge him based on his appearance, and he just judged him based on the actual merit of his fighting ability, and he just saw Luffy as a true rival and competitor, and he respected that Luffy respected him.
Yes, and also we got a deeper dive into Jinbei's character. Like the things that he did in this arc, truly
not necessarily. We got a big dive into Jinbei's character during Fishman Island. This arc, we just really saw him stand up to Big Mom, but
it wasn't.
And that was a cool moment. But I'm saying we didn't we got.
Yeah, you're picking and choosing what matters.
Yeah, and there were multiple moments.
I'm just saying, in terms of Whole Cake, didn't really give much to us, bro.
No, we got this complex. We got more of a complex dive though, because remember in Fishman Island, when he was originally asked to join the crew, he told Luffy, "Hey, I want to, but I have stuff to go handle." Right. So we got more details on that, and we get to see this dynamic complex of Luffy and Nami are trapped. I need to do something about it, even though the person that I'm under right now is basically who's locking them up. So we got to see we got to see Jinbei punch that the whatever that dude's name was, break them out, and then go talk to Big Mom and tell her straight up, "Hey, I'm leaving." You know what I'm saying? He went up to a Yonko and was like,
he didn't just say I'm leaving. He was talking shit.
Yeah. Yes. He was like,
"Hey, talking shit.
I'm going to join the King of Pirates." That's what he said.
Yes. Like you got to see, we got to see his true loyalty to not only himself but who he wants to lead. He had the respect to go talk to Big Mom, and the respect to basically stay true to Luffy and him. Not even to mention, we got to see his own little crew with the fishmen and how loyal they were to him.
Look, that was a great moment. I'm not saying that wasn't a great moment.
No, and
I'm not saying that wasn't a good moment for Jinbei. That doesn't change my mind that Fishman Island largely didn't really do much. Personally,
you said Fishman or Whole Cake? You getting yourself confused.
Sorry, Whole Cake.
All I'm doing,
nigga, you being dumb as fuck right now.
Only thing I'm doing right now is defending
Danchou, bro.
That nigga's being real sensitive, bro. He talking about sensitive.
I just want to stress the point that.
Nigga, these jokes don't fly. Stop acting like a bitch. Hero, you a bitch. Shut up. You a bitch. Shut up. Stop talking to me. I'm
let this man finish his point.
Talking about I'm sensitive, bitch. We know you a bitch. Shut up.
I just want to.
How you gonna mute me? We're in a podcast, bro.
I just wanted to stress the point that Whole Cake. I just want to stress the point that
tell that nigga he muted forever, bitch ass.
Y'all talking over Miles right now.
I just wanted to stress the point here that Whole Cake was not just for Sanji. That's all I wanted to say. And not even.
Okay, it's not just for Sanji, but that was largely Sanji's arc. A lot of the arc focused on Sanji's family. It focused on Sanji's marriage. But that was largely Sanji's arc, and it didn't really do much for his character. And y'all can't leave something otherwise.
I can agree with that, but I can't sit here and say Whole Cake.
Can we acknowledge that Whole Cake had other aspects to it that were noteworthy, that were great? Like there was definitely some highlights to Whole Cake. Brooke facing off against Big Mom, that was a highlight. Jinbei's, going up to Big Mom and saying he was going to leave the crew, etc., etc. That was a highlight. There was highlights, but that doesn't change the fact that the arc as a whole largely was underwhelming and generally did not really do much for the key characters that it was for.
I walked away to get wings. What's going on?
And I think, I can't agree with that because also with Nami, we got to see her. We got to see her how she felt about Sanji. She literally went because Nami, she even pre-time skip, she was always one of the characters that was like more of the hey, everybody cut it out. One of the what do you call them? Peacekeepers, like in the Straw Hat crew. Like if everybody's goofing off, she sets everybody straight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And we got to see once Sanji had attacked Luffy like that, she went straight up to him and slapped him. I believe she just told him to don't come back or we're leaving or something like that, along those lines. And we got to see how she felt about that. And then when Sanji finally turns or whatever, we got to see that little interaction of her walking up to him and basically not straight up forgiving him, but we got to see that development of, hey, I'm going to forgive you for your actions, even though they were stupid. She believed, they were stupid, basically. So that's the development for that character too. Like there's so many little instances of different characters in Whole Cake that I can't sit here and say it was a bad arc overall. Even though the main character that it was about didn't have as much, how can I put it, as much substantial, I don't want to say development, but substantial, like it didn't have substantial like highlight aspects of his character, I guess, in that arc, because there was so much sprinkled around. Don't even get me started on Pedro and Carrot. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I could not care less about Pedro.
What?
You said what?
What?
I'm
He
just
said
letting
what?
this man get out everything he got to say, because damn.
He said what you say?
Not
He
caring
said
about
he could
Pecos.
not give a fuck about Pedro.
I really could not give that much of a fuck about Pedro.
I ain't know,
What?
bro. Pedro
And
was
not,
wrong.
you at least have to give some sentimental value to how Carrot and Pedro had a relationship. You know what I mean? And what happens in that arc. I'm not gonna spoil whatever, but
I mean, I guess Pedro was sort of a
Pedro
mentor
go.
to
you see what I'm saying?
Carrot,
Like,
but I mean, what?
We could
He
not
really
care
wasn't-
about Carrot and Peckham's, but you at least gotta care about Pedro.
What do you mean?
At
I
the
care about
least.
Carrot more than I care about Pedro.
Oh, y'all
okay,
go.
then that's
Oh.
That nigga
and that's
muted.
fine.
That wall is muted.
And that's
Oh
fine. And
my.
that's fine that you believe that. That even hammers on my point even more. You got to respect the fact that her development as to what, because I believe this was the first time she even left the island or whatever. And so,
Yeah, it is the first time ever.
see, so like this was her first little adventure, and the person that literally trained her in the her whole thing or whatever passes away. That he leaves her with the key
But that just
message
goes
of
more
this
to
is.
show why I care more about her than I care about him.
But and that's fine that you again. That's what I'm saying. That still happened in Whole Cake. That's all I'm trying to say. Like as an art.
But you guys keep trying to bring home these points of
This
Whole
shit's
Cake.
cold. What the fuck?
That doesn't change the fact, like bringing up the highlights of Whole Cake.
It's not a highlight though.
That's just a highlight, bro. That's one aspect of the arc, bro. That's just one.
But I've been listing multiple different things spread out throughout the arc, not just here's Sanji's thing throughout the whole arc. You know what I'm saying?
I told you talking to a wall. That's why that nigga muted, bro.
Bro, nobody cares that you got me muted. You don't gotta keep saying it, childish ass nigga, bro. Shut the fuck up. Nobody gives a fuck.
Bro, y'all can hash this out in the Pokemon battle, or y'all can hash this out. Y'all
Bro,
just
y'all
lost
niggas
me.
is wildin', bro. Who cares?
Nobody cares.
I just can't sit here and say that Whole Cake overall was a bad arc.
It's
Even
not
though
a bad arc.
That's not what
why
he was saying. That's not what he was saying.
It's a bad arc to me, bro.
He literally named it when we talked about bad arcs. So unless
You're
you're
right.
changing that
No, he
take,
It is a bad arc to me. Whole
He
Cake is
just
a bad
said it
arc.
was bad. I apologize.
exactly. He just said it's a bad arc. So like I said, that's a no.
And it's okay that you think that, but for the reasoning, I can't just say just because one. I understand he was the main character for this arc, but I can't just say because of how they did him in this arc. I can't just say the whole arc was bad.
Hero, don't worry about it.
When there was a whole bunch of other characters that got.
So
Hero, don't worry about it.
all the side characters getting shot, redeems the fact that the main characters was largely being not utilized to its full potential.
And I can't say there was just side characters too, because even with Brooke, like we're talking about a kid who was who's considered one of the goofy straw. I'm gonna say kid,
But
but we talking
I've
about one
already
of the.
said that Brooke facing up against Big Mom was a highlight. I already said that.
Yeah, and again, that's Brooke and Nami though. Like that's like two of the main characters though. So it's not just the side characters. That's what I'm saying. And Jinbei, because I'm considering him a main character because obviously what happens.
So because characters had really cool moments, Whole Cake wasn't a bad arc. I got y'all.
I mean, if we doing hot takes and unpopular opinions, Marineford is not as good as everybody says it is.
You gotta stand on your own.
Oh,
wow,
you
talking about? You talking about the arc? I thought you were talking about anime. Whoa, see, what? Okay, what do you mean? Like, what aspects of
Marineford to me is not great like everybody says it is. I like Impelled Down more than I like Marineford.
Why? Why is that?
Marineford was lackluster at most.
In what way?
In terms of
the whole arc, and then all it did was show that
specifics, Bino.
All it did was show that they weren't ready for the new world and what everybody was doing.
Are you sure? Break that down for me. Go step by step. Like, tell me what you like
I'm
about
gonna need you to
Impelled
break
Down.
that down very
tell me
well.
what you like more about Impelled Down than you like about Marineford. Like, tell me that. Just so I know.
I like the whole going to the prison, looking for Ace, fighting Magellan, and the whole Luffy being poisoned, and his interaction with what's that nigga's name? Ivankov. I like all the interactions in Impelled Down better than the interactions in Marineford.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you this: how do you feel about the interaction between the initial interaction between Luffy and Whitebeard? Like how he was. How do you feel about it? If you had to rate that moment on a scale from like 1 to 10, what'd you rate that? Like him just basically sitting on the ship and basically not even caring that it was Whitebeard, but was like a one-track mind of I don't care who this is, I'm gonna save my brother.
I mean that's not great to me because that at the end of the day that's Luffy.
So I understand that, but
that's not a significant moment because it's like no matter who it is, Luffy's gonna speak his piece. That's what we've been shown for Luffy.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Now, if it had been like, oh, Luffy don't really speak his piece and he just shuts up and does whatever, and then he said what he said to Whitebeard, I could be like, oh, snap, that's impact. No, but Luffy always says what he wants. He does what he wants, and if he wants to do something, he does it.
All right, I have 2 more questions. How did you feel about whenever Luffy's running and Mihawk basically throws the sword slash to test him, and Luffy sees
I said that they shows that they weren't ready for the new world. But
I think that's more of a because I think that moment in itself is more like we get to see. How can I put it? We get to see at that moment. We get to see careless Luffy use his head and go, "Oh snap! I can't do this." So like I think that's more impactful than
is that. Okay, so we know Luffy takes damage if he slash, but don't take damage from blunt force and stuff like that. So you said he throws a slash at him, so it's going to hurt him. So is that him? Is that development, or is that him knowing his limit?
No.
Knows what damages him. Because he had already seen what Mihawk did. So he had already seen what Mihawk did to Zoro, and so you think just because there are 6 arcs down the road that he thinks he can take Mihawk. If he's been getting stronger and been training, what has Mihawk been doing?
And even in Warlord, Luffy already kind of had the moment of stability when he was fighting Kuma.
I wouldn't say Mihawk's been training and getting stronger, but I would agree with your logic.
But don't. But Luffy doesn't know what Mihawk's been doing.
I entirely agree with your logic. I get what you're trying to say.
And my last question. Well, I have 2 more. Second last question. How did you feel about Luffy doing what he did when he approached the 3 admirals?
That's Luffy.
That's still
being
his true
Luffy.
form. Yeah.
That's Luffy being Luffy. Nothing was developed there. Nothing changed there. It's just, I'm going to save my brother, so I'm going to do whatever I can to try and save my brother.
So since you said that, but the big question I want to bring back to you is, what is the difference between Luffy saying the same thing in Impelled Down and him doing it in Marineford? Why is it more impactful for you in Impelled Down than it is in Marineford?
I think
that's why I bring it up.
I think the difference is
because at Marineford the stakes were higher.
Higher,
Was fixing,
right?
Yeah,
higher.
that's why.
So
that's why
I'm
I've been
sorta
bringing
like,
up these.
I'm not gonna say that entirely because him fighting Magellan to me is a higher risk than him fighting in Marineford because he has people trying to protect him in Marineford when Magellan's just him and Magellan.
But I also think that the quote unquote people trying to protect him at Marineford not protecting him against Akainu, Aokiji, and Kizaru.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
But but it's shown that they do.
Not really. When you really think about it, not really. You know what I'm saying? They will, if anything,
doesn't Crocodile stop one of them?
Stalling, not stop.
Yeah, and I would say, and I would even argue there were in both arcs there were people that typically wouldn't protect Luffy, and they just start protecting him. So
yeah, like all of them. I mean, even Crocodile was in that people you're naming. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and also with the I had to argue that the stakes were higher for Luffy at Marineford just because, in the prison 9 times out of 10, if he would have got caught in the prison, they probably would have just locked him up and then scattered on execution.
I
At
actually feel like the stakes were
Marineford,
high
everybody
for him in
was
the prison.
going for like next, you're dying.
The
Besides
stakes
Magellan,
were higher for Luffy in the prison because that nigga was alone basically. Besides maybe here and there he had Buggy and he had also Mr. Bon Clay rather. But like at Marineford, he basically had all of Ace's allies, which is basically made them his allies by association. Like he wasn't alone.
And then Law comes and saves him. So it's like he had
right.
Stakes, like
the stakes were way higher in Impel Down for me.
If Bon Clay don't get to him in
the case of his
Impel Down, he's dead. But he has a whole bunch more chances to survive in Marineford because of everybody else being around him.
Right. He had a lot of people supporting him in Marineford.
So Whitebeard tells everybody to protect Luffy.
I
understand that logic, but I think realistically, Marineford had the higher stakes. Like I just feel like
just because it was a war.
No, not because it was a war, but because of who he's dealing with. I feel like there was genuinely nobody who could even really. I feel like he said protect Luffy, but I feel like quote unquote protecting Luffy never genuinely happened. If that makes sense, I feel like it still was Luffy's own intuition and his own, battle sense that was keeping.
So what happens after Ace dies and he breaks down and he quits moving? How does he? Is that his instincts and his battle intuition, or is that people protecting him?
That's people protecting him. But you can't compare that to the rest of the Marineford. Like that's just the end.
And I mean, Jinbei was by his side the whole time, basically.
And also, I would argue that in the prison, I feel like in terms of intelligence, I'm not gonna say in terms of intelligence. In terms of I'll say combat intelligence. I feel like Luffy could have definitely made smarter decisions in the prison that wouldn't have led him to do what he did. So fighting.
But I think the thing about Luffy's fight in the prison, I feel like people don't give Magellan enough credit. But even in the end, Luffy would not have escaped if not for the sake of I think Mr. 3 and the Wax. Like that, even that alone was what even allowed him to touch Magellan, and even then he didn't even really.
He couldn't do much with that because at the end of the day, he was still poisoned.
Yeah, and that's
guys
why I
say that, but why are y'all him getting help to fight Magellan? Y'all just said he fought him alone. So what's the difference?
I'm saying for most of Impel Down he was alone.
But
for most of Impel Down he was alone and he didn't have much support.
But what's the difference between that and him literally getting thrashed at Marineford when he jumped in front of the admirals? I generally don't see the difference. If anything, I would say they about the damn same because I feel like even all those people at Marineford genuinely made no real genuine difference in comparison to how everything would be played down. They was able to get the ace, but I mean, I still
Luffy
feel
wasn't necessarily thrashed at Marineford. He was more battling exhaustion than anything else. It was more his
I'm not.
exhaustion that he.
I didn't. Never mind. But as
No,
I was
say
saying,
say what you're saying because
no,
I don't.
I'm gonna keep going. So as I kept going, what I was saying was that I feel like with Marineford, either way, I think that whole thing with Marineford and Impel Down, I feel like all of that is overhyped. It's not as good as anybody says, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm just speaking on stuff itself. But I think like with Marineford, I feel like his stakes were much higher because one, how it played out, and two, just because of where he was and what he had to get done. I know Impel Down is, Impel Down, quote unquote, but and then the whole Luffy on his own, I still don't even feel like he was really on his own in Impel Down. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe that's just me, but I don't even think he was on his own. I think y'all taking that on his own too far. That man did not break out Impel Down on his own. Like, I don't like that didn't that don't I don't know, but that's just me. I feel like he had help in both cases. I feel like the help in
Yeah.
Impel Down was his help in Marineford. Like, so I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
that's just me.
I'm gonna have to
Maybe I'm
agree with
wrong.
Danchou because I believe,
I ain't seen it in a while, but that's me. That's my mentality from how I remember it happening. That's how I remember it.
and I believe that it. I don't. I just feel like I feel like if like I feel like the only reason I feel like it's you guys' argument isn't as strong is just because I feel like if he would have found thought of a better way to get around Magellan, not gonna say necessarily fight him, but get away from him. He had gear second. He
There
wasn't
was no
slow.
way to get away from him.
There was no way to get away from
Magellan
Magellan.
could freely travel throughout the prison because he had the whole poison. He would literally create a poison dragon and then slither along inside a dragon to travel wherever he wanted. There's no getting away from him.
And okay, then I can see that argument.
And the
But
reason why
I have to
I'm not
I have
necessarily
to go
saying
back
that
and rewatch
Marineford
that.
is better than Impel Down. I'm saying the stakes were higher in Marineford because Luffy had to break into the world's most impenetrable prison, basically breaking into the belly of the beast that literally wants to see him captured and executed, find his brother, and then somehow not only manage to break out, but escape through the gates of justice again. Which I mean, that's a whole other thing. Like it was 100% more higher stakes than literally being in part of a war, but fighting basically as part of an army of his brother's pirate crew, but also is one of the most refutable pirate crews in the world. Like he had mad allies at Marineford. He had mad people who was watching his back. He had Marco the Phoenix watching his back. He had Jinbei. He had Ivankov. In Impel Down, he didn't really have Jinbei or Ivankov on his side until the very end of the arc when he basically had gotten to where Ace would have been. Like he didn't have Crocodile on his side until the very end of that arc. Like he really had Buggy, Mr. 3, and Bon Clay. And Buggy and Mr. 3 was trying to snake him the whole time. So he really only had Bon Clay the whole time.
Okay,
Right.
and
But
I can
point being, he
see.
didn't break out
He
that
had.
poison. And
Yeah,
also my point being, still my point is, I still think Marineford had higher stakes. Like all of that sounds pretty on paper, but when you in that war of Marineford, the stakes are higher. I'm sorry. Like I just don't. It don't. Like I'm trying to see it, but I don't see it. Like it's just don't. It don't hit my
no,
brain right.
I see it, but I can't. I think if you take it, just frustrates. I'm not gonna say frustrates me. I understand it, but I feel like if you take Magellan out of that situation, like out of that,
Take him out. You can't take him out. He was a part of it.
and
So you can't take him out.
that's what I'm not gonna do.
I'm not even trying to take him out. I feel like him being in there. Yeah, Magellan. We all know how strong Magellan is. The nigga strong as fuck. But I'm sorry, but I'd rather be in the impelled down situation than be in the middle of Marine. What the fuck? Like
I don't
I just
know. I don't
I feel
see
like
that one.
Yeah,
I
see,
feel like
Right.
Marine.
I
I
can
feel like
agree
Marine
with that.
Ford just. I feel like Marine Ford just like that was just pure. That's pure. I feel like you said, Miles. I feel like with Impelled Down, he could make better choices, and he could have
Yes.
been better off. But with Marine Ford, you just in smoke, bro.
Yeah, you just
If you make
that's
one
what I'm
wrong
saying.
step, it don't even matter if somebody is protected. You can still make one wrong step and be dead. I think like I feel like if Oda didn't write the way he wrote, stuff like Marineford would have definitely had more casualties than it did. But at the same time, since he is older, we can't say that. But I still feel like the stakes was just way higher. Like I didn't feel like I remember going through Impel Down I was like, bro, I was stressed. But going through Marineford, I was stressed. Like, cause I'm sitting here like, what is about to happen to you? Like, you could really mess up and it be over. Like, I was even with all of the White Bear pirates still there in the back of my head, I'm still like, I know this is too much, but can the Straw Hats just pop up? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. For me, it just felt like he's even with all of them people there, he had. I feel like, matter of fact, I would even say Oda had to write in all that support because of how high the stakes were. You being at Marineford, he had to have.
Maybe
You
it's
know what I'm saying?
cute. Yeah, I
He
think yeah,
had
that's what.
to have the help. It's to the point to where like it had to play out like this. Cause
Yeah,
yeah, Luffy could handle Impel Down on his own. Cool, but that's what we want to go with. But Marineford, no, nigga, you're not going. You're not going to Marineford. You
I
need people with you. So
I think yeah.
that's why my brain is like, no, bro, stakes are higher. Even if you have the people with you, you're still on pins and needles the whole time. Like that's just me though. That's just
Yeah,
how I feel
I
about
think
it.
yeah, that's perfectly what I guess I was trying to articulate. Not that if you took Magellan out of the situation, but if Luffy had the ability to make better choices at Impel Down. And
what better
and
choices could Luffy have made in Impel Down? That's what I want to know.
I don't
I
think
mean,
there are any better choices he could have made.
Right.
I mean, just
You're saying that.
like just how can I put this? Like, and even with your point of like infiltrating, he didn't really have to do much to infiltrate it just because of Hancock. So like, I
What do
I
you
can't
mean?
really say.
I mean, Hancock just got
Wait,
his
how
foot in the
Hancock play a
door.
role in?
He still had to
Hancock
defend
got him.
all the floor.
Hancock got him in the door, but he
Yeah,
still had to. He still had to hide
Yeah,
from the
I wouldn't
camera in the
consider that
room.
one, Miles. Yeah, I wouldn't
He
consider
had to
Boa
defend
taking
all
him
the
to the one.
floors.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that. I don't think that would really help. I thought she just dropped him off at the door, basically.
Basically, and then he got in the room,
Yeah,
and they were
she just dropped him off at the
they
door.
were watching the camera, and we see Luffy trying to run from the camera, and they're looking at the camera like, is somebody in there? So no, I don't.
I remember him just being dropped off.
yeah,
It's been a while.
that's what I'm saying though. I mean, I just what Hero's point earlier. He said that Luffy had to infiltrate the prison, and I was just saying like the way he said it sounded like he was
Oh, I
like
get what you're
kind of
saying.
insinuate.
Okay.
Yeah, he was kind of like
No, I don't get what
insinuating
y'all are
that he
saying at
just
all.
Yeah, no.
that he had to like bust
All
through
he
the
is
door and
saying,
go down
okay,
all the way
all
down. That's
Miles is saying, calm down. All Miles is saying is that he
I
thought
tell
you
him to
was
calm
trying to
down, man.
say
Calm.
that Luffy just was able just to break in on his own. That's
yeah,
all
and
he's
just
saying.
make a big scene and then go down.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. But but as far as everything else, yeah, that was he had he had to do what he had to do. But yeah, I feel like I just feel like it how can I put this? Obviously, I believe if I really want to go back and watch Impel Down now, but from the from the entrance to the Magellan fight, through and through, because I believe he was the only way to the lower levels was through the through
Was
that
past
little
Magellan.
Yeah,
yeah
about to say he had to get together.
yeah. So that's why I that's why I feel like you guys' argument is good because of that.
And there's
for that
no
point.
way to get past. There's no running from Magellan, and there's no getting past him.
Yeah, and
Well,
that's
and
why I had
neither
to
one of
double
those
check because
things.
Luffy
I feel like
was
if
trying to be
anything,
stealthy the whole time, but at a certain point, like the prison was just alerted to his presence, and when they got to, I believe it was the fourth or fifth floor, whatever the lava floor was, Magellan had already known like this nigga's here. I'm just gonna intercept him, and it's gonna be wraps. So it's like, yeah, Luffy. It's like, what could he really do at that point? Like,
and that's why I had to double check because if there was another way he could have went about it, then I can sit here and go, yeah.
I think they know he's there before he gets to the lava floor.
They know he's heading towards Ace.
They know
and
which
he's
way
about
he
to
was
get to the
going.
lava floor, so
because don't they break everybody out before he even get to Magellan?
Yeah, they do. Buggy does. That's what Buggy does. He breaks out
his little posse or whatever.
Create a riot.
And that's why I'm saying I gotta go back and rewatch that to.
Sean, I'm about to see you this post.
My only thing is who was it? Luffy and Bon Clay versus Magellan versus, and then you compare that to.
It was Luffy versus Magellan. It was Bon Clay versus the Vice Warrior.
Okay, so then you do that, right?
Or I believe it wasn't not Bon Clay versus the whoever that interrogation chick, and then the Vice Warden finds him or some kind of whatever. He finds a way to impersonate.
But then look at that fight and then compare it. that fight has a higher stake to me than the whole Marineford fight because it's a group against a group.
Right. This is basically like Luffy and them something. These niggas was alone because they're in a prison full of niggas who to like in a prison that's only one man has ever escaped from, full of all their enemies who want to keep them there and kill them there, and it's literally just basically Bon Clay for most of the. And I mean, like Luffy would have died literally if not for Yvonne. So it's like,
but I can agree with that, but I can't sit here and say that Luffy wouldn't have almost died if
it wasn't for everybody else in the Marineford.
Because let's be honest, if the warlords really wanted him dead, they could have had him dead. That's all I'm saying. So like, I can't just say it was a group against a group in that fight because it was a group. It was a group against a group with a whole bunch of.
It was basically a 4-way war. It was Whitebeard, Luffy, the admirals, and then the warlord. But at the same time, everybody has their own agenda in that fight. So
yeah, that's why I said it's like that's why I can agree. It's kind of I can't fully agree with y'all's point because it was a whole bunch of dynamic characters. Like if Mihawk wanted to, he could have killed him. If Crocodile wanted to, he could have killed. Like there were so many characters in that. If Don Flamingo wasn't such a weird wild card, he could have killed him right there. Like there's so many people that could have killed him.
I would even say outside of that. I mean, if they're not trying to kill him, you can't consider that. What I'm saying, even outside of them, I just genuinely don't see Impel Down as more higher stake factor. I just don't. Like I feel like, and then the fact that Luffy went into it battling exhaustion. Who knows what the heck could have happened to him if it wasn't for pop armor? I just like, I don't know. I feel like if he wasn't an MC and we were following the other perspective, he'd be dead. That's just.
If he wasn't an MC, he would have died in Impel Down. So that's like,
yes, he would have died before then.
Like he would have died there. So it's like, what are we talking about, really?
I mean,
but
sure,
we're just going in circles at that point. Y'all got any agendas per se
that trash ass Impel Down
that y'all are trying to push?
One Piece does not have any bad arcs.
There's not one Piece.
I ain't gonna say it has
There's
bad
not
arcs.
One bad one. And I don't even like one.
There was no arc. There was yet to be an arc in One Piece that I've watched an episode or watched a couple episodes and just gone. I don't want to watch this.
This
could be. Piece goes down as one of the top anime of all time.
Ain't nothing.
I mean, Shaun, nobody's arguing that, but Whole Cake was still bad.
Marineford's not as good as everybody says it is.
He just said nobody's arguing that.
Anyway,
he said nobody's arguing that, but then he gonna argue that.
You said One Piece is gonna go down as one of the best anime of all time. I do too.
All right, that's a reach. It's gonna be top 3.
Okay, but is that not what I said?
Nigga, we not putting Dragon Ball.
I thought you said best. I didn't hear what you said.
No, I said one of the best. One of the best.
Oh yeah.
This nigga on here about to push this Dragon.
He said,
all I know,
it's not.
hey, Jujutsu Kaisen get this anime? Hey, top 1 and it ain't top 2 and it ain't 2. That's all I know.
Hey, Jujutsu Aizen anime get good studio is top 2, and I swear to God it ain't 2.
Go watch Iron Blooded Orphans.
Go watch Iron Blooded Orphans. That's what I'm saying.
If it's Gundam, that shit trash on God.
Gundam Go.
Reborn.
Sunrise is goated.
Gundam, I swear to God.
Look, I don't care what I said in the last few episodes about
that Gundam Unicorn suck. That Gundam Wing suck. That Gundam
don't watch that shit. It's shit trash.
Y'all can go ahead.
Slow.
Origin suck.
Okay.
What else suck?
All they do is argue about random stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
That mobile fighter.
Go peep Iron Blooded Orphans. That shit's some gas. Go watch Gundam Unicorn. That has one of the best.
I heard them niggas in the Gundam suits. They not
beautiful. Ass nigga. He just sat here and said Whole Cake was bad. Come on now, don't even listen to that. Nigga.
Right, thank you.
Oh brother, Whole Cake was bad though.
This joking, y'all.
Whole Cake was bad though.
And you Yasha over Gundam, no cap.
Oh God. And you Yasha over DBZ, no cap.
Nobody watching no Max.
Niggas ain't even responding to that.
And you Yasha's top 2 and it ain't 2.
I'm not entertaining.
And you Yasha don't birth all these anime. Don't want to hear
it.
Oh God.
The best
it's
love
funny.
story in
It's
anime.
funny
Y'all
because
sleep.
Hey,
the
look, the
only
best
nigga that's for
romantic
real
story in anime
serious
that's not a
is
cap game.
Bino.
Hey, bro, I gotta push my series. What you mean? I gotta push it. Inuyasha got the best love.
That shit trash.
Inuyasha got the best love story in anime with the greatest
Period.
fight scene. Check it out.
Point blank.
Nigga,
Tell him,
what?
Bino,
Hey,
tell him point blank.
better than One Piece fight scenes.
On God,
At
tell him
me.
point blank.
At me,
Tell him
point
point
blank.
blank.
Bro,
Tell him point
Inuyasha
blank.
is not even a top 5 romance.
Tell him
Period.
cap. Better than Dragon Ball Z. Tell him.
On God.
Oh,
Story
God.
is definitely better than
Get that
Dragon
man
Ball
out
Z.
of here.
no.
I know y'all not
Shishomaru
boosting
better than Vegeta. Try it.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Anywho, what's the next
now.
topic, nigga?
Shishomaru,
Come on now.
Nah.
Vegeta gets smashed by Shishomaru. Oh God.
Vegeta's a god, nigga.
Naraku birthed
Oh,
Frieza.
God.
Try it, bro.
Naraku,
Oh my
Naraku
God.
talking Frieza with a breath. I ain't even trying to hear it.
Exactly.
I ain't trying to hear it.
Hey, y'all read One Piece,
Ain't
and
nobody reading that
So,
bullshit.
yeah,
if you
guys,
have
we're
Anybody-
looking for 2 replacements for the next podcast.
On God, bro. Low key,
Oh
dude.
God, yo,
Hey,
no cap,
hey,
no
bro.
cap. No cap. This is my last Superior Minds because I got bigger podcasts to be on.
Hey,
Alright,
bro.
bro.
Oh no, he ain't have to do
You
us
know,
dirty like
hey,
that.
look,
That's
crazy. Best of luck to nigga, bro. Best of luck to him.
All I know is
Hero
if
happy,
me
Hero
and, if
happy
me
get
and
rid of him
Danchou
after
getting
tonight.
replaced, Hero got to get replaced too. That's all I know.
Oh, you know what? As a matter
you
of
niggas
fact,
say
they
anything.
so did ask me to add somebody. You want to be on that Hunter discussion? You might as well. Hey, we're gonna get on this read of this Hunter Bino, and you could join.
Oh God, let's
I
go.
thought you was gonna say me. That's crazy.
Nigga, yo switchless ass.
Nigga, nobody
you
cares
ain't even
about you, Shaun, bro.
You ain't even finished Kingdom Hearts 2
Wow,
yet.
why
Stop
does
it,
the
nigga.
switch?
So ain't
First of all,
finished Kingdom
Bino,
Hearts
that's
2
not
yet.
your joke to be using. That's only Dancho's joke.
Hey, bro,
Second of all, Bino, don't
pick it
even
up.
talk to me with your
pick it
disrespectful
up.
ass. That's why
Bino
women don't love
Bino
you.
has right.
Hey, these
Bino has
hoes
right to
love me.
joke.
Go, hey, don't make me put my business out here.
Nah, the hoes
Podcast.
don't love you, nigga. You love the hoes. Don't do what you say wrong.
He
Hey,
said,
bro,
"I love these hoes."
That's one of your top 3 quotes. You love the hoes and you do shit cause you do stupid shit cause you young.
Damn.
Hey, bro, I'm still learning, bro.
Okay, boomer. Yeah, that's some boomer shit.
Niggas out here don't read the Grayman. Y'all lives suck.
Oh, nah, for real though, like some shit that I just watched that was pretty damn good is that ReZero. Check that shit.
Hey, for real though.
You need to watch
ReZero, that's a top
Reincarnated
Islam for me, bro.
Y'all need to watch that Hitman Reborn.
You say you finished the keys. Honestly, bro, ReZero's a better love story than Inuyasha to me.
I was gonna say that, but niggas was being loud, low key though, like for real.
Bro, come on now. We gonna act like Inuyasha's walk so the rest of these
like,
can run,
and I actually like Inuyasha's plot, like on no bullshit, but ReZero hit different.
Inuyasha walk so the rest of these can run.
And
That's all
it
I'm gonna
hit
say.
different with multiple women though. Like I don't know, like different.
Right, because that nigga Subaru he got 2 women he could really go for.
Can we talk about the love? Can we talk about the love story for Future Diary?
Stop that. Fuck. No, stop it.
Kamugi and Miriam's love story over anything you niggas talking about. I ain't trying to hear it. Fuck out of here.
Nigga, Kamugi and Miriam love story ain't even better than the Bakugo Deku shit they trying to push on Twitter. Stop.
On God.
That's
On God.
Oh my God.
Hey, talk that shit, Bino. On
What
God.
the fuck? Come
This
on
nigga
now.
Bino, this nigga Bino
Hey,
ain't
what
even
is
into my
Miriam
drone. Shut your
and
lying
Kamugi
ass
some
up.
bestiality type shit, bro? That shit out the airways, bro.
So now you pushing bestiality.
First of all,
They got girls and bugs being in romances together. Get that shit out of here.
This nigga said Rose and Buzz like the bug ain't part human, but this nigga want to push some
But
trash ass mate.
That nigga was a bug. That nigga was a bug.
Trash ass Gundam series, but you want to
That
talk
nigga
about
was a
Hunter
bug,
Hunter.
bro.
You just mad because nobody like your
They
trash
had
ass
a snot.
franchise.
They had a
Shut
girl
your
with
lame
snot
ass
on her
up,
face and
nigga.
a bug trying to mate.
Hey,
that
nigga,
shit was whack, bro.
I'd rather a human and a bug trying to mate
She
than a
had
human
snot
that's
all on her
arguing over
nose and
space,
shit, bro.
nigga.
You said what? No, stop that, dog.
You
No,
got
bro.
humans. You
No.
got humans arguing over space like they
Oh
own that shit. Shut your
man.
stupid ass up.
Bro,
They
what
had
are they
they
talking
had a
about?
snot nosed girl and a
Get
bug
that
trying to.
nigga out of here.
They
No,
trying to have
bro.
us having
No.
feelings over those two, bro. That shit was
No,
crazy.
bro. He said I would rather a bug and a human mate than watch people talk about owning space. No, you didn't, bro.
This is
That,
fucking true. Don't nobody want
I
to
mean,
talk
that
about
shit
how
was
owning
not
some
funny.
shit that ain't theirs to own anyway. These
Hey,
niggas trying to run
That
space
shit
like
was
that
not
shit not
funny.
infinite. That's the dumbest plot ever. Shut your
That
stupid
shit
ass
was not
Oh
up.
funny,
my
bro.
god. No, he didn't,
You literally
bro.
had a bug
That's a
and a snot
dumbass.
nosed girl trying
That's
to mate, bro. That shit
listen,
was
that's not
whack.
those girls.
hey, can we
That
Listen,
shit
that's
put
chill?
me
not
to
those.
Can we?
sleep.
Listen. That's
They
not
had a
those
they had a
girls. And
genocidal bug
Miriam,
and a snot nosed
listen,
girl trying to mate, bro.
listen, listen, listen,
Listen,
listen,
Linda,
Bro,
listen,
listen.
please, bro, please change the channel, dog.
listen. Bestiality over that trash ass mix series you love. Next.
Yikes.
Hey, can we
Next over
can we
that
chill with the
trash ass mix
Kamugi
series you
slander
love.
though? Can we chill with that, bro? She was
Fuck
only thing
Kamugi,
she
the
was trying.
fuck?
She literally just
Dog,
trying. She was putting her
dog.
life on
He's
her line
he's
for her
mad
family.
because
So
he's
wait,
mad
time
because
out, time out, time out, Miles. You trying
he
to give
mad
her a
because
pass because she was blind?
No, no, no.
If
I just don't.
Kamugi was in control of the generals and the wars, there'll be no need for all these extra Gundams because she not as as them niggas. Shut that shit
Nigga,
up.
boo, that shit
No,
corny, bro. The
Yeah,
fuck? Who the fuck?
she be in control of all of them by
Boo.
now. Get that
no.
shit out
I
of
just
here.
don't. I just don't want to hear Kamugi slander just because all she was trying to do was put her life on the line for her family, bro. That's it. That's it.
Niggas like Hero wouldn't understand that. They trying to fight for space and shit.
Nah, thank God. Trying to fight for you trying to, like, what the fuck?
I don't like how y'all trying to give Kamugi a pass on the bestiality because she was
Right,
blind.
for
That
real.
shit, that
I
shit
They mad,
don't.
wasn't.
they
No,
mad about
no.
niggas in
I ain't
space.
talking about that.
Meanwhile,
No.
Dog, these
they
niggas are
mad
trying
about
to
niggas
clown
in space,
Kamugi
but
like
meanwhile,
Kamugi was a. First of all, Kamugi didn't even know she was an ant. Yo niggas know they in
That's what
space
I'm
and trying to
saying.
argue
but
over it. Shut that shit
meanwhile,
up.
Anyways, now that I brought dance in this bitch, we a full party. What's up, pussies?
they didn't even get that shit off the island
Ha.
expeditiously.
I have arrived.
The only good mech is Gurren Lagann. If you watch Gundam, you a
Oh,
stupid
brother.
nigga. So we
Nigga,
know that nigga Hero the
time out,
dumbest.
bro. The best
Wait,
mech, the
whoa,
best
whoa,
mech is
whoa, whoa.
Metabots. You tripping?
Nah,
Stop
y'all
it.
acting like the
Shut
best
your
mech.
ass up.
Really?
Hold
No,
on.
Really? What?
What?
Y'all saying all
Zoids
this
is out.
shit?
Zoids is out.
Y'all
Zoids
saying
over
all this
Gundam.
shit like
I
Code
said
Geass better than this.
Metabots.
That's
What y'all
crazy.
talking about? Ain't nobody
Can't
saying
Zoids
say
over
Zoids
Zoids.
is
Gundam.
better.
Zoids
Code
over
Geass
all.
mad gas.
Stop
You
it.
right.
I mean, Code Geass
Code
is
Geass
mad gas.
wow.
Data
Code
Live
Geass
is
is
out,
Nigga
but
told me
over.
hey,
stop it. All right.
Pretty much anything over 100, 100.
I'll
Data Live is
know.
out.
Nah, look. We not
I'll know
doing
a
that
zero.
shit while I'm
Hey,
in
nigga.
here.
I'll know a zero
Pretty much
over
anything
Angel
over 100,
Gundam.
100 though.
Hey,
I'll know
look.
a
Code
zero
Geass
over
over
Angel
100.
Gundam. At least them
I
niggas
mean,
got
no
sense.
cap since nigga was getting the slander. Shit, fuck that.
Demon Slayer, the best anime out right now. Hey, best of the
Shut your
Nigga,
time.
ass
huh?
up.
Oh
Shut
my
your stupid
god.
ass up.
Oh Lord, he
Period.
did not
What?
just say that.
I push
It is.
10. I push
Nigga said
any
No, I
what?
Gundam.
didn't.
I
Like he.
push anything.
Nigga said what? Like
Matter of
we
fact,
said
what
something
y'all
wrong.
niggas
Yeah,
push?
Name an
nigga,
What
anime
y'all
shut
with
niggas
a
up.
push?
name an
I'm about
anime
to
with a
slam.
girl better
I'm
than
about to slander
Nezuko.
everything you niggas
With
push
a
because y'all
girl
niggas
better than
taste suck.
Nezuko, nigga, Fairy Tail has better bitches than Nezuko,
You
nigga.
crazy as fuck. Just cause they
Why
sexualize
are
they
we
better than
talking about
Nezuko?
Nezuko right
The
now?
fuck?
Nigga, that
Man.
has nothing to do with
This nigga said
with
name a girl
anything,
better than
bro.
Nezuko. Half the series she ain't do shit but be mind
Literally, that
controlled
bitch is
and
tipped in
fucking
a
jump
fucking
around. I'm
box,
not
my
trying to
I
nigga.
was
hear
not,
it.
nigga, she ain't even the best like female character in the show. Like,
She is Nezuko is the best female
She
anime
sits
character
in a
of this
fucking box,
decade.
Bro,
my
can you
nigga.
stop trolling? This shit starting to get
This
old, dog.
decade.
nigga, hey,
Come
hey,
on.
Wow.
I'm just gonna say
Hey,
I ain't
Noelle
gonna
is
Hey,
out,
cap.
nigga.
I
that's
don't
how
know if
Bino
you
Noelle
like
niggas
his
is
know
out,
this,
bitches
bro.
though.
but
They
Y'all
same
keep
on
body
a
trolling. This shit
on a
not even
serious
entertaining
note,
no more.
First, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Noelle
no,
exists,
on
nigga.
a serious
Watch
note,
some Black Clover or read it, whatever,
on a
whichever one
serious
you
note,
prefer.
on a serious note, first of all, whoa, that Black Clover shit mid. Don't even do that.
Nah,
What?
Two,
fuck what you
Oh,
talking about, nigga. Hey,
two,
read Black
two,
Clover.
two,
Noelle is out.
two. Noelle, I know you. Noelle over Nezuko. Okay, hold on. First of
Noelle
all,
over
okay. I don't
Nezuko,
know
and that's
about
on
that
first of
one,
all,
Chief.
God.
first of all, if we really want to
Fuck
talk
we
about
talking about?
arguing Nezuko, let's really talk about
That
arguing
nigga
Nezuko.
know, bro.
Y'all do realize the level of strength as a character you have to be turned into a demon and fight your natural instincts,
Oh,
right?
brother, bro, we don't give a
No.
fuck about her
I'm asking a
backstory.
serious
She
I'm
weak as a
backstory.
character, nigga.
Okay,
What you
all
mean?
right,
How
that's
she
not
weak as a
backstory. That's
character?
what's
She didn't get shit
How was
done.
that a backstory?
Like
Oh,
her
man.
backstory. is
She's
cool,
literally
but
a
then how
plot
but
device.
then
I'm
what
not
did she
trying
do
to
after
hear it.
that? It's like okay.
Bro, every time
She's
Nezuko
there
come
for
out the
fan
box,
service, nigga. We
No,
don't
no,
care
no,
about
How
no,
is
that.
she
no,
there
no.
for fan service?
Every
How
time
is fan
Tanjiro
service a
losing,
child?
it's time to
When
pull
is
out the
Nezuko
box.
uses fan service? When is Nezuko uses fan service?
This is a pure fan service.
Tanjiro can't get his shit done. All right,
When is
time to pop
Nezuko
out the
been
box.
sexualized as fan service in any shape, form, or fashion?
No. Fan service doesn't just mean being sexualized, nigga.
So what other way has she been
she's
using
just
fan
like she's there to appeal to the audience, to look adorable and shit.
to look adorable?
I can only agree. I'm an anime
and
only.
that
but
does fall under fan service. You can search that shit up if you want to, guys.
I can.
all I know is every time Nezuko pop out that box, she throwing straight hands and she going to work.
Every
No
time
one said
Nezuko
what
pop
her
out
hands
that
got
box,
to do with
it's
her
like,
being a
bro,
better
weak
character.
ass.
Not being a
Have
better
y'all
character.
read Light?
Bro,
No,
they ain't
I'm
caught
an
up.
anime
They
only.
ain't caught up in the manga, bro.
Seriously, this nigga
Noah
said
has one of the
Inuyasha was better than
best
Dragon Ball.
female arcs in this gen.
What you say? You
Nigga,
talking about Inuyasha and Dragon Ball Z?
Has one of
Can
the
y'all
best
answer
female
Y'all watch
character
Black
arc in this
Clover, and I don't
gen.
even know what the fuck you talking about.
Answer the question? Has any of y'all read Red Light District?
I'm caught up in the manga. Nezuko is stupid.
So in that Red Light District, I know you didn't just dog Nezuko after the Red Light District.
Nezuko weak, my nigga.
Have you seen it? Answer the question. Just tell me.
Have you read it, Keith? If you ain't read it, you can't speak on it.
Nezuko selling pussy on a damn manga.
Okay, I'm done. I'm not talking to credit listeners. Somebody said,
weak, my
if
nigga.
somebody said
That's
Vegeta
all I
trash,
said.
listen, if somebody said Vegeta trash,
Hey, y'all
and they
niggas just
never
slated
got
a
past
whole
the first
series of
point,
anime.
bro.
We not about to talk about credits.
I know. The fuck. Why the fuck we even having
the
this
skin off
discussion,
my
bro?
dick.
If
Y'all can shut the fuck up. Nigga, what I say is absolute, nigga. I don't give a fuck. Shut up, nigga. Shut up, nigga. Listen to what you talking about,
you know I'm
nigga.
not gonna
Shut
shut
up.
up because I don't know who you
Shut
talking
up,
to.
nigga.
I smell the shit
Shut
out your
bitch
breath.
ass. They ain't listening to what you talking about. Shut your goofy ass up, nigga.
Who you talking
Shut your
to?
goof ass
Keith,
up.
who you talking to?
I'm talking to you, nigga. You know I'm talking to you. Everybody in here, nigga. You know I'm speaking to you.
I got you.
Yeah, nigga. Shut that shit down. You ain't
my
bitching
father,
nobody.
Shut up.
Yeah, nigga. Fuck you talking to.
Nezuko, I'm an anime only. Nezuko is a cool character, but I don't know if she the best female to come out.
My nigga, she sit in
a
a fucking box, bro.
Bro, and every
Fuck
look, bro, and every time
Hey,
she come
nigga,
out that
Noel
box, she
over
go to work.
everybody.
Bro, shut up.
She don't
Stop
sit
it.
in the box.
And that's on God.
Noel just
Vegeta,
another
listen,
Sanji.
bro.
Stop
I
it.
know what Vegeta.
Noel is
not
another
talking about a
Sanji.
trash
Stop
character.
it.
I'm dead.
Nezuko only
crazy.
sits in a
Nezuko
box.
over Vegeta trash.
Dude say
Any
she
day.
the
I
best
don't give a
female
fuck
character
what
to
you
come
talking
out in
about,
this
nigga. Like I said.
decade.
Nezuko
That's
golded. This nigga said,
crazy.
listen, if a nigga said to keep
Vegeta goat.
Vegeta trash, but you know I ain't seen D.
I ain't
That nigga
seen
be pissed
the
as hell.
Majin Buu saga. Like, what the fuck?
Shut up, Keith.
Yo, Bino, you the only nigga that'll tell me you watched the entire series but can't list shit that's accurate. So you shut your bitch ass up.
What have I
You
not?
you watched the
Wait,
entire
hold on.
No,
When
nigga,
is Bino
you
watching
only
This
watch
nigga,
up
this
to
nigga
sell,
Bino
so
been
why are
finding.
you talking?
This nigga Bino been finding everything funny. Let's get into his
That
ass,
nigga
bro.
Bino
Hold
over
on.
there keying it up. No, hold on. Nah,
Since
you
that
put
nigga
him
been
on the
finding everything
spotlight,
funny
nigga, over there
tonight.
keying it up because you hear this nigga Don talking. Stop dick sucking for
I
one.
know.
Two,
Hey, look.
no, hold on. Stop dick sucking, nigga. You about to get yours. Hold on.
Bino
Get your homework, nigga. Hold on.
Bino goaded.
Hey, look. How Bino?
Dick eating, bro. All
Nah,
How the
talk
fuck
about
this
dick
nigga?
eating.
What I'm saying is, you talking all this shit. Oh, yeah, that nigga. I'm with that nigga. I don't fuck with credulous niggas. You haven't watched the Majin Saga, so shut the fuck up.
But hey, I ain't sitting here saying.
Hey, shut your bitch ass up.
Hey,
You ain't seen the Majin Saga.
Hey,
You got a point of
nigga,
view,
you
bro.
credulous.
anybody know of a series that this nigga Bino actually finished?
This nigga don't finish shit.
Let's get on this nigga since he found everything funny tonight. Let's get on that nigga.
Bro, okay, time out. Before we do that, Hero, they was on your ass because you okay, I suck, and I changed the conversation just for your ass.
You said what?
Kill him.
He said what? What did he say?
That nigga Bino said he saved you from the conversation.
Nigga, how did he save me from what? No one saved me from nothing, bro. How are you gonna save the series that been going for 40 years strong, the top selling media franchise of all time, bro? Y'all untouchable on that front, bro. Y'all
bro, no. Run
better than Hunter. Better than Hunter.
This nigga wasn't even talking
better
about
than Hunter. Hunter's mangaka doesn't even care enough to finish his work. I don't give a fuck what a nigga gotta say, bro.
Hero, you was just in the
bro. Togashi don't even care enough about Hunter.
You was just in my you was just in the Discord crying. nigga Hero was just in the
Nigga
Discord
Togashi
crying,
don't even
wanted
care
to
about
come
that
back.
shit. You expect carry, bro? I don't give a fuck.
Hero, you was just in the Discord crying for it to come back. Shut up.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother. And you were just in a Discord. Gundam Unicorn is my top 2 of all time. Shut
This
your
is the
ass
dude.
up.
This is the dude
Oh
who
my
tells you.
god.
Hey,
we ain't gonna cap like
Stop
Gundam Destiny
capping
ain't
when
the
they
best
get the
Gundam.
podcast, bro.
I'm the main
Here this
one
nigga
who
go with
tells
that
people
Destiny.
I don't want Togashi to come
Look.
back. What
That
you
nigga will talk about
talking
Discord conversations, bro. The fuck,
Nigga,
fuck
shut up. Nigga,
I'm
shut
tired of
up.
y'all listening. I'm tired of y'all listing Gundam like Destiny don't exist. That's crazy.
Oh, brother.
Destiny.
Destiny Gundam go. Hey, nigga, hold on. Let me
Hey,
look,
nigga,
y'all,
Gundam Divers is out. That's
Exactly,
all I'm gonna
Des.
say.
Hey, look. As a Gundam fan, I would like to say, even though Gundam Seed Destiny is
He
so
said
fucking
as a
ass,
Gundam stand, I'm crying.
look, nigga, look. Even though Gundam Seed Destiny is fucking ass, my nigga,
No,
that shit's
all
still
of them
fire.
ass.
You
All
said,
of
wait,
them
whoa,
shit suck.
pause. You said what?
I'm just gonna say Gundam 00 is the 00 is pretty fire.
Double O
Yeah,
fire,
it is
Iron
pretty
Blooded
good,
Orphan
That shit
fire,
mid.
Unicorn fire.
Yo,
Double O is a wannabe win. And I don't know how you
Deus.
want to be trash.
Do you really believe that though?
No, this
That's
nigga
a
just
genuine.
talking.
Like I want to know like if you really think it's trash.
He's just
Do I
talking.
really think what is
That
trash?
nigga's just talking,
Do
bro.
you 00?
Oh, I think 00 mid, to be honest.
What?
Yeah, I don't really like the second season that much.
No, Gundam is a series I still gotta get into. I have not watched a single.
That's because you're
This
predator,
nigga
Miles.
said.
You don't
This
watch
nigga said
anything.
it mid. Yeah, I did.
Gundam 00, yeah. I think it's just mid. I don't think it's that impressive. The first season better than the second season, in my opinion.
That's fair.
But to be completely honest, all
But it's
of
not
them
mid.
suck. But
You said what?
All the Gundam suck. This nigga, get this nigga out.
Nigga, take the nigga.
I just
All
want
I
to say
know-
Code
This
Geass out.
nigga been on one since we was. That nigga just.
I'm sorry, you breaking out. Slow down. What you
Nigga,
None of
didn't
it
you?
can hear
Did wait, hold on. I'm pretty sure the last time I talked to you about mech, you literally said Gundam is literally one of the best mech series out, if not the
But
I
look,
sure
Danchou
did.
fake as fuck.
I
So that
sure
nigga already.
did. I'm the fakest nigga out, bro. That shit suck.
All I know is
That shit
Zoids
trash.
is
That
Zoids is
nigga
better
flip
than
flopping,
Gundam.
bro.
Tell him, Bino.
Zoids is better
Say
than
it again.
Gundam.
shut your
Let that man
ass
speak the
up,
truth.
bro.
I know,
You
this
nigga,
nigga
I'm
Bino,
just gonna
bro.
say,
like I
nigga,
said.
hey, Gundam Divers exist, my nigga, and that's gas.
Y'all must have never
That's
seen
a spin-off.
Zoids.
That
That's
don't
all
count.
I know. Y'all ain't
Nah,
watched
nigga,
You know,
You
that's
put
the
that junk
that's the
over
best one
Destiny.
out.
I can't
That's
put
one
your
game.
opinion on.
I'm putting Zoids over all that.
Y'all ain't
Yep,
watched
then if we
Zoids. That's all
talking
that
crazy,
means.
nigga, I'm putting
And I'm only
Transformers
talking
over all
about
that
20th
shit.
century. The rest of them
Bro,
series suck.
time out
I'm
this.
only talking
For
about
real,
20th century.
Transformers is over all of that shit. Honestly, let's be
I mean, if
real.
we keeping it 100, nigga, the Mighty Ducks animated series is above all of that shit.
I'm weak.
Oh,
Nah,
man.
the Looney.
Y'all need to stop capping like Power Rangers Super Mecha Force wasn't the best.
Bro,
That's
I ain't
actually
Is
not
that
a
even a
cap.
thing,
That's
bro?
actually not a cap. That's actually
I
not a
was like-
cap. Actually, that was actually 100% true.
Hey,
He
bro,
didn't lie at all.
hey, Ninja Storm is the best Power Ranger.
Ninja
Hey,
Turtles
look,
is
hey,
above all that
hey,
shit.
Ninja
look,
Storm,
hey,
hey, that's
Bino,
one thing I
Bino,
can't get behind though.
Hero.
Ninja Storm is
Hero, I wouldn't be surprised if that is the thing though.
Bro.
Hey, what'd you
No.
say? What'd you say, Diaz?
Ninja Storm,
We
Power
got any
Rangers,
Ninja Turtle
Storm,
fans
nigga.
here?
Ninja Storm, no. I don't know about Ninja Storm, King.
Ninja
It's up there,
bro,
though. It's up there though. It's up there though. But
Ninja
no.
Storm is for
He
show up there,
said,
nigga. That was some
Power
It's up
Rangers
gas.
there.
Ninja
It's up
Storm
there,
4.
but nah, not
I
number
think
one.
you got.
That's before the show fell off. That shit-
Mighty
All right,
Morphin
wait,
and Turbo
wait.
out.
Which
I'm
number one Power
sorry.
Rangers?
Mighty
Ninja
Morphin
Storm
and
or
Turbo
Dino
out.
Thunder?
Dino Thunder had heat too.
I go
Nigga.
Dino Thunder because Tommy in it. I'm sorry, I'm a Tommy stan.
Dino Thunder was raw. I don't give a damn.
Just
I
because
don't
I'm a
care.
Tommy stan, I'm gonna go Dino Thunder. But I love
Bro,
the
I'm
Ninja
trying
Storm
to
ninjas.
remember what Power Rangers was it that they literally pulled out everybody.
That
single
was.
person. Which
Wasn't
one
that
was it?
Samurai and shit? That shit.
I think it was. They had like
Samurai
50
one-
different Power Rangers on the field, dog.
Is
No,
it
that's
that
the
one or the
movie.
one with all the Red Rangers?
Yeah, the Red Ranger one had all of
Because I know in one they go and get all the Red Rangers that were out at that time.
No,
And they
I'm
fight
talking about.
on the moon.
I'm talking about they legit gathered like all the groups of Power Rangers up until that point. It was like 50 of them dudes.
Yeah, I remember.
Wait,
which one you were talking about.
Was it they actually together, or was it that Power Rangers where they can like tap into the older Power Rangers' powers? Is that the one we're talking about?
No. It's like it was like one of them world ending events where they just literally called everybody. You
I think
had
that was
you had
I think that was
you had
the
multiple Black White Rangers showing up. You had Burgundy
Yeah.
Rangers. Like it was all types of.
I think that was
crazy
I remember that one.
the samurai one.
I'm that's what I'm thinking it is.
Yeah.
It may have been. Wasn't that samurai one trash?
Nah, bro.
Samurai was kind of. It was alright. It was.
Yeah, it was.
It was
like,
alright. I think SPD was the worst one though. I ain't gonna cap.
Whoa.
me. SPD was fucking trash.
But you telling me that you can't tell me that it was better than Jessica Gundam. God.
Oh,
Shit.
wow.
Anything Power Rangers is better than Gundam. Don't even try that.
I'm sorry. Wait.
Nigga, whoa, nigga, you.
Hey, y'all see how easy it be to catch Bino in his creditless name?
Y'all been letting Bino say creditless shit all podcast.
Because Bino don't do nothing but speak facts.
Bro,
but
Bino just be speaking, bro.
Bro,
Which one of y'all lied and said SPD was the worst Power Rangers? Because we all know it wasn't.
What's worse than SPD then? What's worse than SPD?
What's worse than SPD? Did you forget Overdrive?
Overdrive is fucking trash.
Overdrive?
You got me. You got me. I forgot.
I'm about to say. And then
I mean, keep it 100. If you really look back, though, all that shit was mid. Let me keep it 100. All that
Mighty
shit.
Morphin wasn't mid. I mean, like Mighty Morphin wasn't. Tom Force wasn't. Space wasn't.
Dino was cool.
Space
that live action Power Ranger movie was low key mid.
High key.
What about Jungle Force?
Jungle Force wasn't mid either.
Mighty Morphin was solid.
It's Morphin time.
You're not telling me Mystic Force and Galaxy
Morphin
and Rescue was trash. You're not telling me, and you're not telling me
that
Turbo
nigga too
was
having
trash.
PTSD right now.
What? Is he okay?
No, I said it's two here.
No.
Oh fuck. Nah, cause these Power Rangers niggas have been like harassing this nigga on the TL for the past.
Why have the Power Ranger people been harassing him?
Man, y'all niggas know why? Cause 2 is 2.
Basically,
bro.
There has to be a more specific reason than that.
Bro, I remember back when we was on Telegram. When people used to get roasted, everybody would grab a Power Ranger picture, change their name, and then start going ham.
Nigga.
I'm tripping how a nigga was just crying about Hunter x Hunter 2 hours ago when I act like he don't care about
Fuck that shit. Hunter x Hunter mid as fuck.
Hunter x Hunter mid as fuck.
Hold up. What
you say, Danchou? I think he just needs to come on and come back, man. I need this session to just finish.
That shit mid. I was being fake.
Hey, Aizen, I got a title for this podcast episode: creditless shit. Because on God, that's all that's been said today.
You're the last nigga to be talking about niggas.
Nope. This you ain't been here the whole podcast.
I'm about to be the only person that ain't said nothing creditless. All I know is the most credible thing I said today was that Gundam shit trash. That's all I got to say.
Oh, brother.
Bro, I need you to.
We might have to make that the title. That Gundam.
Y'all niggas is funny.
Please make that the title. Please make that the title.
Like, bro, ask Keith and Shaun. They sat here the entire podcast.
Hey, title gonna be Destiny.
I've heard.
Title gonna be Destiny. Hey yo, I'm gonna put Destiny over Unicorn.
Destiny over bro. Look, all right. Listen, like I said, bro. Look, I love Destiny, but nigga, I know that shit is mid, bro. Like.
MS Team over Gundam Unicorn.
But to say the entire franchise, nigga, I've only seen a couple. I can't.
Niggas is just talking, bro. They hurt.
That whole franchise need work. Period.
Oh God, just like the fucking drawing.
He said what?
Bro, y'all
niggas saying anything tonight, bro.
Yo, just like Tagashi's drawing, right?
Oh,
look, I need Togashi to stop drawing. I need whoever them people doing Gundam to stop. Both of them niggas need to stop. Period.
Gundam ain't ever gonna stop, bro.
Nigga, your shit, Tagashi shit already stopped, nigga. What the fuck?
I need Togashi to stop. If that's the case, I need nigga to stop begging for him to come back. I love how y'all say this shit like I'm not the nigga who asked for the nigga to never back. Like, I agree, you dummy. You fucking idiot.
So
Hey,
yes,
what,
we
hey,
can
dog,
agree.
what they
We
say
can
when you
agree.
can't beat them, join them, nigga.
Exactly. If you can't beat them, join them.
I want to know in the comments of this, if this goes on YouTube or whatever. I want to know what people really think, like what people think about the arcs in One Piece. I really want to know
The
what
bitch
people
is
think.
trash. What you mean?
The arcs in One Piece. Look,
Did you
the
just
arcs in One
revert this
Piece.
conversation back to
The
No,
arcs
because
in
it
One
just been
Piece.
it
The
just
arcs
been
in
sitting in
One
my
Piece
head because
suck.
like I
The
don't.
only good one is Whole Cake Island. Okay, all the Gundams are trash. It's a blessing Togashi no longer does Hunter x
This
Hunter.
nigga keep talking about Gundam like you,
Blessing
like you
Togashi no
obviously
longer
you
does
see
Hunter
a
x
fan.
Hunter.
Hey,
Like, I'm just stating facts at this point, nigga. I'm glad Togashi
I
never
know is
come
that
back.
this man
All I know
Miles
is Hero.
really
I don't
didn't
think he
know
will
about
ever bring
any
up
other
Hunter x Hunter
anime, so
again,
he
and
tried to go back to One Piece.
That nigga's so upset that I slandered Hunter x Hunter. That shit's dead, dog.
I'm genuinely joking, bro. But I will continue.
Hold
to
up.
All
So
right,
we're
all
not
right, all right.
we're not gonna talk
Hey,
about the
cool,
fact
bro.
that Miles couldn't be credible on any of these topics. And
I thought we
switch
was
back
all
to One
joking.
Piece because that's the only
This
thing
shit
he
funny
watched.
I
Hey,
low-key have been
hey,
credible.
hold on, bro. Hold on, wait. So was the topic that I missed earlier? We're not gonna get back to it. I just want to make sure that I heard was true. Okay, so did you niggas are arguing about fucking Whole Cake Island?
No.
Yes, nigga. I bet you Whole Cake was trash.
Hero said that we were talking about basically the series that would have like
not
that has
necessarily
a
trash,
consistent
but
good.
it just was not a great arc. That's what I said. It's not a great arc.
And to save his life from getting slandered, I said Marine was trash.
What?
Nigga,
He didn't even
get this nigga out, bro? This nigga
Like,
part of
I'm not
fucking
even
party.
there, but how does that logic make sense?
I guess you should have been here for the argument, bro. That's how
I was here. I heard.
Didn't you hurt my logic?
Did you just say to stop it from getting slandered? You brought up Marie.
Bro, you can't. You know, you can't just say
this like that, nigga. You actually was trash. What the fuck you talking about?
And you actually think Whole Cake was trash.
I couldn't
what
hear
you
her clearly.
mean?
I was just trying to.
True. That's very true. Bino has a point.
I actually think Whole Cake was bad. Yes, yeah, I definitely think that.
So I tried to divert the conversation.
I mean, what the hell? I'm confused. They both
Who the fuck is
both
gonna
very
say
creditless statements.
Who the fuck is gonna say Marineford is bad though?
They're both pretty creditless statements, in my opinion.
I just want to know in the comments if people actually think that there is a bad One Piece arc.
There is a bad One Piece arc.
From the arcs that I've watched, don't say Scott P.
I just said Scott P. Nigga. That shit was.
I haven't come across a bad one, nigga. I ain't even come across a bad filler arc. So
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm like,
you gotta hit time skip first.
Bro,
you think Scott where I'm there right now? I'm almost at time skip.
Talking about you think Sky P was bad?
Bro, all right, let me explain to you why. Okay.
Yes.
As an anime watcher,
we don't
want to
hear this shit for the 10th time.
Nigga,
skip episodes.
Right? Why? How do we get back to One Piece, bro?
Fuck it, we gonna talk about it, nigga.
Hey, bro, if we going back to conversations though, hey, I'm trying
this
to.
One's gonna be peaceful. I'm a man of peace.
If we trying to go back to conversations, hey, bro, hey, fans, everybody out there, I'm trying to breed these 6IB Jangmos. If anybody got a 6IB, I can read off of. I can fuck with it.
Nigga, what the fuck are you talking about?
Pokemon, nigga, you ain't got you switchless ass, nigga, you wouldn't know about it.
What's up,
damn, nigga? Fuck, alright, that hurt my feelings.
Who is this kid? Who is this random?
Sean, come get your twin, bro.
Don't bring me with him.
Aizen, who is this random kid?
Who we talking about? I don't know.
Power of God. Who is this Rand kid? He clean. What is this?
Oh, see,
he's clean.
I told you, he got one of the best fights in this series. Bro. I'm trying to tell you.
Clean. Who is this?
Bro, all children of Kun is GOAT. They all GOAT. All of them.
This kid is clean.
He got the best family.
The Kun family, that's what you're saying?
The Kun family is the best family.
You say cunt family?
Kun, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't speak Korean. The fuck I look like?
Okay, can we get back to this? Why do you think Scott P is
no, we
bad?
don't want to get back to this One Piece.
No, nigga, we don't want to talk about One Piece.
Let's talk about a different anime, bro.
We need to talk about how y'all need to get on Tower of God and stuff.
Yes, Tower of God is pretty clean. I'm not gonna lie. I'm finally glad the
I'm not gonna lie to y'all boys. I read that first chapter and I dropped that bitch.
Me too, bro. Me too, dog. No, Deus. Me too, bro.
I ain't even opened it yet, so shit.
Hey, his drawing. The thing is, Deus, like his first season was horrible, but he definitely upped his drawing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
may give another chance.
The art has really gotten better.
So if anything,
I have
if
finally gotten
anything,
into the
I
art.
would say still read the first season and take into account the lore that you're getting.
Yes, I would agree because so far I'm really enjoying the art getting better, but now I feel like I'm getting more invested in the world overall, enjoying scenery that I'm getting. Before, I felt like I was relying too much on hoping I liked the characters, and now the art has gotten really good. I'm
Deus,
actually
trust
really
me,
enjoying it.
Deus, it's not that much dialogue. You know, how you like
It's really not
can't
either.
really
It's
read
not.
and stuff.
It's not.
It's straight up boxing
Yes, yes, a
on
lot
some
of
meathead
boxing.
They be
shit.
boxing for show.
But all right, I'll give it another chance.
The
But
whole essence of the show is boxing. I ain't gonna cap.
what you call it? Have we talked about
They
JJK
got
yet?
boxing in it.
Wait, hold on, wait. Have niggas talked about JJK?
That's mid too. They ain't doing it.
Oh my god. Wait, but so wait, hold on.
Don't nobody want to pay attention to them sketches. The fuck I look like?
So DS, I heard on the TL, my nigga, you started Yuri.
You said I started what?
You started Yuri on Ice.
Oh yeah. You know, whole lot of ice skating shit going on. You know, niggas
Oh,
are
word.
twirling and shit. You know, shit was lit. I think I saw a nigga do a triple backflip on one pinky toe, my nigga. I don't know how the fuck he did that shit. That shit was
So
crazy.
did you like the women in the series?
The women, bro, the women are fucking fire, nigga. A1, better than Bleach women, easily.
Oh,
Best
really?
girls.
Oh, that. So we definitely know that's better than Jujutsu Kaisen. Say less.
Yep.
I asked you, did you like the women in the series? I'm pretty sure Yuri on Ice got shit in it.
I know it has nothing to do with that shit.
He said better than Bleach women. Like Yorichi and Nelly L don't exist. That's crazy.
Like, nigga, what the
you
fuck
really
I look
looking
like
at,
watching
nigga?
a fucking anime about ice skating, nigga? I'm not watching that shit on my free time, nigga. The fuck? Hey, but if that's your shit, go ahead then. But hey, look, that ain't me.
You ain't gonna care. I mean, like, I don't got nothing against it. Don't seem like it's good.
Nigga, I got too much shit I gotta read, bro.
Oh god.
What was I gonna say? One series that niggas keep it's controversial, but a lot of people have been recommending Banana Fish.
What is that? That's the one about what? Aren't the MCs gay or something like that?
Yeah.
I think so. I think Don. You say something about it before.
It's a very good anime. You should watch it.
What you call it? Yo, but yeah,
nigga, this fish is good.
This nigga, bro.
It tastes like banana.
What you call it? Yeah. So I don't know if y'all heard or not, but Jujutsu Kaisen is getting animated by Toho Animation.
No, it's not. No, it's not. DS, don't start lying to people. Toho Animation is a distribution and production company.
You said what? What's the production? Whatever. It's getting produced by them, but I don't know what animation studio like below them is going to animate JJK. But regardless, it's still good news because what you call it? I'm pretty sure they have Bones. They have Bones.
It's basically good news because it's not period.
Yeah, it's not. As long as it's not. Yeah, as long as it's not them, nigga, it's good news, nigga.
Not necessarily. Somebody else can animate it bad, but
yeah, they could just get outsourced.
Hey,
That'd be horrible.
Hey,
Lord forbid.
They could get outsourced to whoever period outsourced to.
Exactly.
Yeah, nigga, like.
So be careful. I wouldn't just be excited yet. We're gonna see.
Nigga, nah, I don't go fuck, nigga. Fuck,
bro. I was
fuck, period, nigga.
I can see a studio like Madhouse picking up JK.
I don't know. Madhouse hasn't done so well in recent years. They've been okay, not great. I feel like they're gonna rely on CGI for parts they shouldn't.
Can I ask a question about like the shit that I keep seeing people talk about? Is
Go
Tokyo Revengers actually good?
Yes. Yes.
So explain a little bit to us, Don.
I can't. I'm spoiling.
Oh wow.
It's that good. Yeah. Just imagine you're a kid who was friends with a bunch of delinquents. Something tragic happens. And you have to break up after something tragic happening, you're in the past. So then you get caught in a loop of being able to time travel and change events. But every time you wake up at the present, every time you change an event, your present is drastically changed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
So
they got
it's
some
really
time traveling there, huh?
check it out. It's really good.
What is this?
So them niggas said they the Minutemen, huh? Is that what that movie was called? Shit.
Yeah, that
I
movie
mean,
go
yeah.
hard. The Minutemen,
The butterfly
That's
effect.
Disney classic. There we go.
I
we
would
watched it on
compare
Disney Plus.
yes,
That shit was
yes, Aizen. Thank you. Much
The
better
butterfly
comparison.
effect.
The butterfly effect. Thank you, Aizen. Of course, Aizen would have the best comparison. Yes, the butterfly effect is the best comparison. Yes.
I was just throwing some shit out.
right. He's talking about the
Every
Minutemen,
time
that
he
Disney
changed
Channel
the
movie.
smallest detail of
I
how
know
I know what
everything
you're talking
played
about,
out.
Keys.
But I'm saying
Completely threw it
that I was
off.
saying that butterfly is literally the perfect.
Oh, I hear you, brother. I hear
description.
you.
Yeah,
I didn't even
Why
think
you
about
say
that.
it
I
like
actually
if you
forgot
guys
that movie
ever,
was so
yeah,
good. Damn.
if you guys ever watched the butterfly effect, every time he changed like a small, minute detail, like even
Oh,
even
brother,
just
I understand.
giving one that he didn't want to give.
Bro, I haven't seen that movie in a while. Too, Aizen.
He would throw off the whole timeline by doing something like kissing a girl. He didn't kiss her.
Remember when he was in jail, bro?
Yeah.
That man was about to get raped. That shit was sad.
Oh, this got dark. Well,
Yo, all
The
right, wait.
butterfly
So
effect is an extremely dark thing, and so is Tokyo Revengers.
hold on,
I
real
feel
quick.
like I know that movie. This is an older movie. I think I've seen that
What do
shit.
you mean by?
I mean, like
It's 2000s.
mid 2000s.
Yeah, it's 2000 something. Phenomenal movie.
I ain't watched a normal, like a regular movie. Only the last movie I saw was probably
You
it
said what
too.
happened, Danchou?
Was that an Ashton Kutcher movie?
Dang, I don't remember actually. It might.
I want to say it was Ashton Kutcher. Yeah, it was 2004 drama thriller. Yes, Ashton Kutcher. I know it wasn't crazy. Okay.
Hey, before we like move on to the topic, what's your top 3 horror movies or like sci-fi?
I don't have none.
Somewhere.
I don't really watch horror like that, to be honest.
The thing is for me is like scary / horror movies or too predictable.
The
Like,
first time,
yeah. I mean, at this point, I watch like horror, suspense, film, comedy, because like this shit be stupid. Like no one,
like they do a certain shot and it's like, oh look, about to
My
turn
top
around.
3 horror
Something's
movies
gonna
would
be
have
there,
to
then
be
she gonna
like
turn around again and something's gonna be there.
It depends on what aspect of horror you're trying to
Paranormal
go for. Like, are
Activity.
you for it? I mean, not it. For what you call it?
Friday the 13th.
No. What is it called? It was a
naming
new
my
horror
list.
movie that had the remix to That had a really good remix to It was made by one of the dudes from Key and Peele. You know, the black dude.
Oh, okay. So you had.
Are you talking about Us?
Yeah, Us.
Get
That's
Out,
what it is.
and then you had
that,
Us.
That movie, I
Us.
liked the eeriness of it because the camera angles were like the whole movie.
That's
It felt
a
kind
well
of
put together movie.
uncomfortable.
That shit is scary too.
I haven't seen.
Like I like that.
It was like scary and funny.
Yeah.
But
like I like the whole. Like, they were really good with like the camera angles in that movie because like especially with the beginning with the little girl. Like the whole time I was like, okay, when's the jump scare? Because I couldn't.
Nigga,
he did that movie Us too though. That movie,
Let's go, Ashton
Us. Is Us the recent movie? What was?
Us.
Us. Yeah, that's the one I was just.
Your uncle trying to kill you or something. Well, no, you're the copies or whatever.
And the whole I love the whole like I think it's at the very end you realize that the original person that was up
traded
top
off.
is
That
the
shit
one
fucked me
that
up.
was crazy because it was like the whole time you're thinking like, oh, you know, she's just trying to get away, but in reality it's reversed.
She's the one that did it.
Yes.
Yo, nigga,
that was crazy.
Bro, that should really have you walking around looking over your shoulder type shit.
Anytime I see those, what was the company or whatever that was doing it with the hold hands? Like it's like it's the American something. On God, the same week I saw the same company like truck on my campus, I was like, oh no. I was like, oh.
Wait. So what happened again? Y'all said
In Us, basically,
go
imagine
ahead.
there is like another world underground with copies of everyone. But basically, at the beginning of the movie, this little girl goes underground, right? And she basically meets her copy, and it's basically led to, they give you like hints of the flashback, and basically towards the end of the movie, you find out that the copy is the one that's basically went back up, up to the surface as a little, as the little girl, and the original girl got trapped down there. So it's like flipped. So the whole movie, you're like, oh, this is just this is the original person, but it's not. It's the copy.
But like,
It was,
when you
Are you
like,
talking
is
about
that
Us?
Yeah,
is that
Yeah,
underground
bro.
world like horrible or something to live?
it's basically where everybody's basically like weird. It's hard to explain. It's like basically they're
Yeah,
not.
you
It's
gotta
not like,
see it.
yeah,
yeah, you
like
gotta
You
watch
really,
that shit. It's
you
crazy.
gotta watch it, bro. Yeah, it's not really describable. You would tell that to watch. It is
like
describable, but it's hard to describe.
it's so
Bro,
good.
if we gonna talk about scary though, I would have to say the scariest horror movie had to be Orphan or the Halloween that came out in like 2007.
I think the
I
original,
also
I
like
think the
what
original
was
Omen is pretty scary. I ain't gonna lie, because it
I
seems
like
super real.
I liked what was that
Wait,
one
what was
horror
that movie
movie
about?
where like it was the play. I think it's Charlie, right? It was like the play that's like haunted, and basically the kids go in the theater, and it's like the dude's like it's like a hanging play or whatever. It came out a while ago, but it was like
Hey, Danchou, what movie were you just talking about? The Omen? What was that about?
Oh, this the Devil Child 666 in his hair. You know that movie? Come on now.
Nah, the scariest thing, I literally lost all things of scary movies because I saw some movie when I was a kid, and I just got scared that I just stopped.
Like the Omen.
I don't
The
even know.
Omen probably.
I don't even know what the movie was.
Like the Omen scared me so much when I was younger that like I just like I don't know like it made me sort of not trust kids.
Oh, bro,
All I
nigga,
know is that movie was they lived in some house.
Jeepers Creepers used to fuck me up.
Yo, Jeepers Creepers! Oh my god.
Jeepers Creepers is crazy.
Nigga, bro, that shit was wild. I say Conjuring and Annabelle.
Those is whack to me.
Those are gas. That shit like it's kind of weird, but they always come correct with this shit.
All I know is that the movie I remember that movie pretty vividly, but
You breaking up a little bit.
uh,
Better.
Yeah, you good.
I said I remember that movie vividly. Like they moved in some house or whatever. Weird stuff. Some neighbor next door was like giving prophecies that like they would die or some evil entities would come in, and like basically the evil entity, the like whatever those things was, pretty much like they would try to get you in a dark area, and they would try to get you to turn out the light. Turned out the
Hey, bro.
light, and like it got to the point became so strong that they could live outside the house. So like at the end of the movie, when the
Oh,
brother and sister thought they was getting away from the house and everything else, they was driving in the car with like sister's boyfriend. And
Hey,
You breaking
whenever
up,
you hear
bro?
me laughing, bro, just know you lagging.
wow,
You just started lagging.
oh, but
Yeah,
since we're talking about
I heard most of it, but like when you started talking about they live in the shadows, you broke up a little bit.
since we're talking about horror
Well, I'm
movies,
going to sleep. I have to go. I have a flight in the morning. I'm not trying to stay up too late. So y'all be safe.
All right, my
all
man,
right, Dancho.
Dancho, you go ahead, take care of yourself and be safe
How
on
the
your
hell
flight.
does wait, hold on. The
Don't kill
orphan
nobody.
has something to do with the Conjuring?
Orphan?
She does kind of look like that doll, though. I'm not gonna cat. It's been a long.
apparently Yeah, a lot of those movies are tied.
Yeah, it's weird.
Wow, I didn't know that franchise was that big. It's wild.
It's supposed to be one. It's supposed to be one of them where I think pretty much like they're the comp. It's pretty much like they're the combination of like taking all the artifacts from like all the different hunting spots that happen, and the doll for Annabelle wasn't really possessed, but it was a beacon for evil spirits. Like they have a movie like that have recently came out like last. So
Oh
pretty much
wow.
a bunch of evil spirits like came flocking to the doll, and pretty much all the artifacts, evil spirits and the artifacts broke loose. So it was some crazy junk going on. But,
The weakest movie I've ever seen in my life has to be. Do y'all know? Have you ever heard of the Bye Bye Man? If you haven't, that
Yes.
speaks for itself.
Yeah.
But that shit
I
was
never went to watch it, but it
garbage.
sounds good.
Yeah.
No, nigga, just
Oh.
search, just look at the parts on YouTube, my nigga, and you'll understand that shit is.
It's on. I think it's on Netflix too.
They put it on Netflix. Yeah, no,
you
it's
have
ass.
YouTube chat fans.
One, since we talking about horror movies, I do want to see a couple video games get added, adaptations to like horror movies. I think a really good horror movie, as like from a video game, would be the Outlast. Like imagine a
Oh, nigga.
a movie
my
of
God.
Outlast. That would be godlike. If they got really good studio to do it, that mess would be
Oh,
crazy.
she was saying Annabelle and Conjuring are hard to say. You ain't bring that up.
I know
But yeah,
the
that shit would be crazy because in Outlast you can't use any weapons, right? You just got that camera.
Hey,
Yes.
Shirley dropping a horror movie knowledge. You know, girls who watch all the movies.
Yeah, I already know about that, Shirley.
Yeah, I know the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's. He's making a movie, like, and it's gonna be like the concept of Five Nights at Freddy's. He said he's thinking about sequels, but there's a movie in the works for Five Nights at Freddy's. That mess, if that's done right, that's gonna be so good.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've seen. I haven't really watched the gameplay on what you're talking about, but I know this movie.
Oh, you've never watched Five Nights at Freddy's?
Nah, what is it about for real?
It's basically like the basic concept is you're locked in a secluded area, whether it's a room or like a security guard room or like a child's bedroom, and there's basically a whole bunch of animatronics, which are just think of stuff like Chuck E. Cheese, like Chucky from Chuck E. Cheese, a whole bunch of those type of animals trying to kill you at night.
That's wild.
So basically, they're trying to come into different doors and stuff, and when vents and all that type of stuff. And the whole time, you have to basically keep an eye on everything.
Yeah, you in the
and
pitch
try to
black,
survive
huh?
the night.
Hey,
So,
how many movies they gonna make about like weird tall grass where people get lost, like dead people pop up?
You talking about that shit on Netflix? I gotta watch
like,
that.
bro, I swear I didn't see like 4 different movies based off that same genre.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, if Resident Evil movies were as scary as the video games, that shit would be top tier.
Oh Lord.
Because nigga, them games hit different. Movies
Games
are
is crazy, bro.
Well, wasn't that the thing? Is like at first it was supposed to be scary, and then like they kind of switched over to like a whole zombie action pack stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it just seems like an action fantasy type thing. That shit reminds me of Blade
fancy,
almost.
right?
Like, Blade used to hit. Oh shit.
Blade is getting a remake though, ain't it?
Yeah. Yeah, for you talking about for MC? Yeah, it is.
Wait, Blade?
I hope they do good.
Yeah, they announced. I forgot the actor's name, but they
Blade
I
is
saw
a
a
part
picture
of
of him and stuff.
Surprising.
Nigga, Blade and Hellboy used to go crazy.
That's facts.
I didn't appreciate them shits when I was young watching them.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate them either.
I only did just because my mom, she was a big fan.
Bro, speaking of like a series of movies, what is that movie called? Dang. It's pretty much about like the vampires and the Vikings, and then it's that girl who's like,
Underworld.
No, not Blade. It's another one.
I said Underworld.
About to talk about
The
Twilight.
Underworld, yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, I know what
This
you're
nigga
talking
said Twilight.
Hey,
Twilight.
I got the complete.
Nah, I remember I was in the mall once and they were showing a preview to it. They're like not everything was fully finished, but it was asking questions and stuff about it, and they paid you like $5 to answer a little survey. Went and bought me a cinnamon bun with that. But nah, I actually got it. It wasn't even that bad for that preview, but I never got to see that movie. I need to rewatch. Because home chick, who the main character, apparently cold. Like,
What is this? They just got typed in the live chat.
Pretty cold, but then
Hey y'all, if y'all haven't already, we politely ask that you drop a like for the stream. God bless.
Yeah, drop a like for the stream. We be doing episodes every Wednesdays unless something comes up, but I think we pretty much committed to Wednesdays.
Facts.
Yeah.
At this point,
I forgot about Saw, and I can't get through a Saw movie. I don't think I ever watched a Saw movie.
No,
Bro,
I
Saw
love.
was
I can't get through a song.
Bro, I
love
stopped
it.
watching Saw as soon as I saw that Venus flytrap. Nigga, I'm done with that shit.
Nigga, somebody got fucked up by Venus flytrap.
Bro, nigga, all right. So basically, right. Well, that's what they called it. Basically, it was Saw 2. I think it was at the very beginning. Basically, nigga, he had like this weird ass like fucking neck brace shit, right? And basically, it was like in the same exact. It was built the same exact way a Venus flytrap is, right? And it had spikes in that bitch. You feel me? And the only way he can get it off was by getting the key. But the kicker was the key was inside of his fucking eye, so he had to fucking cut open his eye and then pull the fucking key out.
Yes,
and
sir.
try and plug that bitch in, right? But he couldn't do it in time, and then that shit closed on him, and his fucking head just like fucking exploded. She was fucking crazy.
As far as psychological shit goes, Saw is top tier for that.
Yeah,
most definitely.
It's crazy because like, does anyone else watch Saw and like they see perfect moments for escape? And,
yes.
Like, the people who just
that's
always
what be irritating me.
I can that, but like, yeah, there are perfect moments, but I like it because, again, it's one of those concepts of what I do in this situation, and then you see what a person would do in that situation, whether because it'd be different for everybody, because everybody panics different. You know what I mean? Because we can sit here and say, yeah, bro, I'd be calm, cool, collected, and just go like, oh, this is a simple solution. But like, until you're put in that situation, it's like you can't really fully honestly say I'd do this, especially because half of those people wake up and they're just like, whoa, what is this? You know what I mean? And of course, we have knowledge of like prior movies, and
I wouldn't even say
know.
prior movies. It's just like my first thought when I see certain stuff. It's like, I think there was one where it was in like he trapped him in like a some barn thing where like he was dropping blades at first, and then he just started dropping a bunch of sharp tools. But it's obvious that the blade was
recent
so.
One?
Nah, it wasn't. I don't think it's a recent one. But the blades are so big that obviously my first thought was, if he started dropping random sharp knives, pick up the gigantic saw blade and hold it up so that it blocks the knives.
Right. Yeah, nigga, when they got old dude out the way, the mastermind of it all, is his name Jigsaw?
Yeah, that's what they call him. Yeah.
I thought the friend, like, I thought it was over with, but then they came out with Jigsaw. Like, oh shit, go.
Yeah.
Nigga, in the preview for the most recent one, I think I saw some black dude, and he was with a girl in some type of machine, bro. It looked like he was grinding up sand. Yeah. And that's why I was asking you, were you talking about the most recent one? Because it looked like they were dropping
gears. Like gears were falling next to the niggas' heads and shit. Like
I love the whole concept of Saw because I love movies that like connect to each other. Not necessarily like sequels, but I guess you can call it that. I love looking at movies and going, "Oh, dude, that happened because of what happened in the other movie." And Saw is literally that, but like to an extreme.
I was some nigga dying to Nation. Final Destination hits.
Destination don't hit for me. It just like all the deaths kind of look goofy.
The shit is fun. Like the series is funny to me, but I think like when I first watched him, that shit was not funny at all. But now it's like, nigga, you lost a coin at the bottom of the pool and got your stomach sucked out by the filter. Like,
wait, what?
This nigga lost his lucky coin and he was paranoid as fuck because people like his peers started dying and shit. So he always kept it with him. And fell in the pool, and the filter wasn't closed for some reason. Like it didn't have a lid over it. When he swam down there, his ass got stuck to the filter and it sucked his stomach from inside out.
His asshole? Wait, he got his stomach stuck out from his asshole?
Yeah.
This is on Saw?
Nah, this is on Final Destination.
Oh yeah, that must have shit on some Final Destination shit.
like nigga, what?
Bro, like Final Destination was so fucking like over the top, bro. If there was a DBZ for movies, it would be Final Destination. Just for like how like over the top it is, bro. Everything is hella exaggerated.
Nigga, and what was it? Final Destination 2. The nigga he put his hand in the garbage disposal with a ring on and a watch, I think, and then almost accidentally turned on the garbage disposal, fucked around and sparked a fire in the house. I don't know how the hell he did that. And then when he finally got free, he went through the fire exit, slipped off of the ladder, fell on his back, and looked up in the air for like 30 seconds. Bro. Then the shit fell through his eyes. I'm like nigga.
The fuck? Wait, I can't remember which Final Destination it was, but do y'all remember that elevator scene?
Yeah.
Well, not elevator, escalator. My bad, bro.
Fuck. I remember that. I know there was an elevator scene though for sure. I've seen the. Did someone get their face pulled off on the escalator?
Some shit like that. Nigga got eaten by the fucking escalator. Like I don't even know.
God.
Yeah.
They honestly just stopped making
I don't
the movies
think shit
like that.
Most of the stuff that they be putting in there isn't possible at all. But some of that shit, like when they were at the racetrack and a tire flew over the stadium and knocked hit this girl outside her head and knocked half her skull off. No, I think it took her entire head off. Like, nigga, how is that happening?
Bro, it's just like it's so random. And then like, bro, remember the laser eye surgery one too? Like, bro,
hey,
what type
of
fucking?
I'm not playing with, nigga. No.
Because of that movie, I'm not doing that shit.
I'm having glasses on for the rest of my life.
Yeah, nigga.
With no problem.
Yo, the funny part is, I'm saying like, yo, what type of fucking dumbass doctor would leave the damn laser on unattended? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Actually, it's actually automated.
It's automated.
Yeah.
I think she hit the switch on it, or she did something like she
tried hitting the switch.
I know that like most of the stuff that happens is because of the people. Like normally the people that die end up causing it somehow. Like the girls that got burnt alive in a tanning booth. That shit was crazy. That shit made me wonder if people were like, nigga, if you see that, you ain't gonna want to ever get a tan under one of those.
Bro, niggas be falling asleep in them bitches religiously. Like they go there just to take naps and then come out that bitch for the whole time.
That's your damn mind, nigga. What, bro? Tell me you gonna feel. I'm not even claustrophobic.
Bro, when that piece of wood or whatever that was perfectly locked in place, both of their handles.
Oh
I
my,
was like, come on, dog.
that shit make no sense, bro. Like,
Nigga, you don't even have room to put your elbows up. Like, you can't lift your head, nothing. They just sat there and got fried.
like a fucking rotisserie chicken. Nigga, that bitch cooking.
And the fucking owner is sitting outside talking about, yeah, y'all do your thing. Goofy ass nigga. What are you doing? I mean, them girls stupid on their own, but still.
All right, yo.
That's it.
Shit crazy.
Who was that?
Nah,
Coming to
I'm
a
just.
close.
Yes, sir. Finally home. I can finally turn this thing off.
This nigga,
I
bro.
was in the car. I was in the car the whole time on the way home, dog. But
That shit
you
crazy.
know, niggas kept it pushing with movies and junk, even though we didn't get through half the topics because niggas started trolling.
Right. This was a troll cast. Y'all have any closing statements or any
Hey,
closing
that's
ideas?
the name of the episode. This is a troll class.
My closing statement is, man, that's all love in here, no matter what niggas think.
I mean, we'll find out if it's all love. But
I mean, it's all love. It's all love from my end. I just talking shit.
Right.
But I hope y'all niggas enjoyed the podcast, man.
Hey, read One Piece. That's all I gotta say.
No. What y'all need to do is read Tower of God. Like Danchou was
Y'all need
saying.
to not listen to whatever the fuck these niggas were saying about Gundam. Go watch that shit immediately.
Let me end the stream so he can
go watch Gundam Unicorn.
Go watch
Gundam
Orphans and go watch Fire Force, my nigga. ASAP.
end stream so they can't talk about Gundam.
Fuck what they were saying, bro. That was
all
all
right,
pure
bro.
cap.
Hey, hold on, real quick. I got something to say. Y'all niggas ever seen a fucking frog walking a dog, my nigga?
Shit, nah, but nigga, I saw a rainbow bounce off a cabbage, my nigga, and I ain't just saying that because my cat sing the blues.
Oh God, bro.
That's
Then they gonna say, tell me I'm red because I like to eat bubble gum, bro. I said, bitch, what?
Shit, nigga, my pockets ain't cripping because, you know what I'm saying? But you feel me, my nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? So when I got out my bed, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, bro, I don't even know, but when I was really talking, that bitch got deodorant and we got a bus and that was it, you know?
Feel me? And nah, bro. Fucking, I stubbed my toe in the refrigerator because my aunt told me that the frog was fucking. End this shit, dog. Fuck it.
I'm off the dookie stain with no stench, baby.
Yeah, we is out. That's it.